right, people? Sins. All right, let me get to you. Right. We got some Wi-Fi's, y'all.
I did. I did that.
Watch it. Oh, wait. Edit this. Good. We can talk about it today. We're going to have a great show.
So that's why I want to, that's why I want to throw it back.
Okay.
Throw it back.
Ty, big announcement this weekend, man.
Oh, yeah.
The endorsement. We'll talk about it at 7. We'll talk about all the endorsements. We'll talk about the mayor's race. All right, y'all. We got so much going on this week. Did y'all check out my article? Did anybody check out my OJ? Tony OJ Preckwinkle? Y'all should check that out. It's been shared over 300 times. It's exploded the website traffic. Oh my goodness. Woo. All right, who is rocking with me? Ian, why are you in the doghouse?
I was going to ask that question.
Wait, what do you mean are you in the doghouse?
I can control my own thing and everything.
Yeah. You haven't been in?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can control your own sound, the whole thing. This is beautiful. It's just hot than a mug. I used to wear, look, Sonya peeling off. You'll see everything.
Oh, I just took mine off. I was like, whoa.
Well, I tell you what.
WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON. Where you are already know social media. You're listening to The Morning Show with Maze Jackson on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Rise and shine.
So now if Ian's in the doghouse, get him out. I don't know. It seems like everybody in the dog.
Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show. Wake up. Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show.
Wake up.
Call
Wake up! All right, y'all, take a moment. Share the broadcast. What's up? It's your man, Maze Jackson. Dre, I saw you on the camera yesterday at the Chicago State, repping the Wiftable. I saw you talking to Bobby Rush. Man, that lady snapped off at my conference, too. But, you know, I had to be like, hold on. Man, I wanted to come out to Chicago State, but y'all know, them 7:30 starts, that's a late time for me. I was wrapping it up. Shout out to everybody who was at Commissioner Larry Rogers' fundraiser yesterday. I stopped by. I'm trying to get it up. You know what? Trying to make the rounds, y'all. We got a new party to build once this thing is over. I'm telling you. We got things to do, places to go, people to see. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. I guess I need the mic. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and y'all, it's about to be a great week. You know what? I thought it was Monday, but it's actually Tuesday. You know, I feel some kind of way. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all one thing. Y'all and I'm talking to the two Wonder Twins. Don't y'all let nobody be sitting in my chair and don't acknowledge the morning show in the city. Really? That's all right, let me stop. It was... I know all I'm saying is y'all you know, I show when you in somebody's crib, you just say, well, I'm at the crib. If you Airbnb and I see your picture on the wall, you just got to say, hey, Airbnb. But it's all good. It's love. I'm just giving y'all a hard time. You know, I be feeling some kind of way on Mondays because it throw me off a little bit. But I'm black to be back. I am back, I'm glad to be back. Black in the seat, that's right. Let me say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team, y'all. So let me say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. Annette, I see you don't have, I thought I was gonna come back today and you were gonna be in a bathing suit because of the beach-like weather that we experience in the studio. Oh, thank you. It was. You know what? Listen, she was wussing it for the black people too. Man, they was cannon. They was shooting cannons yesterday, boy. They was out here like boom, boom, boom. Go ahead, let me hear. What you got? What you got?
What is so rightfully ours, which we have fought for, paid taxes in, and we go and want to play games with, oh, well, what's she going to do for my church? Oh, I don't like her. Oh, did you see her shoes? Oh, she looks like, I'm so sick of this.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. We don't have time for these kind of games.
Okay, what is the number one question in your opinion that we should be asking?
Let me tell you this. You don't have to go to a break for me to ask this. People laugh at Maze and they think he's playing, and Maze sometimes gets, he goes all over. What is in it for the black people? He's not playing about that.
Right.
There is no equity in the city. If nothing gets you out to vote, that should be it. An empty L at 453 heading southbound from downtown should be enough to make you get up and get to the polls. It is something wrong with that.
Wait, see, you know what?
It just, wow.
She put it, I heard when she said that yesterday too. Because, sometimes I don't be, I be trying to, on my day off, I be trying to get my day off. But I'm going to tell you, I was listening yesterday. Y'all rocked out yesterday. Shout out to all the ladies that, women. Shout out to all the women who rocked late yesterday. Much love to everybody. All right, Annette Flournoy, that is enough. We can't wait. You know what, Annette? Well, I was kidnapped.
He's doing great. I thought we were doing this cold doggy thing. So when are you guys going to take the dog for the weekend?
Let me tell you. I got to take no dogs for me. I'm not a dog person, but I'm everybody else's dog.
But he's your official mascot.
So what? You know what? We put the mascot has a costume, and you put him away at the end of the day, so you can bring him to the show, but you got to take him home with you.
Spring arrives tomorrow, so you have time to think about it now that we're going to be getting into the spring-like weather. You can stroll right around here in the South Loop, and
You know what? That would fit around here too, because all these people be walking around here. Around here though, you probably need to get the dog some shoes.
I want no responsibility.
Right.
For that. You saved that dog.
Yes.
That's you.
You saved that dog. That dog is like, where in that?
You're supposed to be co-parenting.
No co-parent. The last co-parent, let me stop. I'm not going to go into that one. All right. Now, let me also say what's up to the Wonder Twins in the studio. Got to say what's up to Miss Sonia Escobar, musical conductor of the Soul Plane, and Sonia Tompkins, super producer. How you ladies doing? You look at that. I think we should just do a swimsuit edition. Like I'm gonna tell you, by the end of this, I'm gonna be sitting here like those old radio guys. I'm gonna be in a tank top and some Bermuda shorts around here, like.
But you know they're gonna flip it on us, right? In the summertime, it's probably gonna be so cold in here.
Nah, these white people. White people don't do that. We in the white people place, right? They don't be playing. They be like, no, I must. Oh no, you know what? White folks be like, it's hot. Open the windows. It's cold. It's not. You know how they do. They want polar bear. Hold on, y'all, because I forgot to do something. Woo wee! Well, you know what we did before we left the station the last time. I was like, could somebody give me a coat? Could somebody bring me a coat?
And all right. Stop us.
All right, now y'all. Guess what? Guess who is here with me for the week? It is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. Todd, how you in, man?
Doing great, man.
Hey, now Todd, I cannot wait till 7 o'clock. Because you made the announcement of the weekend. You shot, you know what, Todd, when I was listening to Dorothy Tillman, and she said that you were making an endorsement, and I had to call you. You called me back like, man, did I miss your call last night? I was like, no, I called you at like 6:30 this morning, like, what is going on? But you know what, Todd, once you explained it to me, and it's actually, it is one of the optimal political lessons that I think we can learn, and I think it's an opportunity for us to talk about. And so we're going to talk about all of that. We got so much going on. You know what, Todd, but I got time for a headline or two. First of all, let me start here. Let's get the Soul Plane to 50,000 feet. Let's get this thing up in the air. All right, now, speaking of in the air, what is going on? We are not on the 737, right? This is not a Boeing. Let me just let y'all know that the Soul Plane is a good old DC-10. We still in the old school doing it like the.
It's funny you say that because the DC-10s had the same type of problem.
I mean, we really on the 747. That's what I really meant. Okay, well, I take the baby because the safe baby, the baby that gets you home. All right, so do you think there was a cover up here? Do you think they knew? I mean, after the first plane went down and the second plane, and I heard that they are now subpoenaing emails and all types of stuff. Y'all did not want to hear me when I told y'all they was testing that stuff out in the foreign countries, and they were testing them in countries that we could still shoot. Like, Boeing makes missiles too, don't they? I'm saying, think about the Ethiopia, and where was the other one? Indonesia?
I believe so.
Expendable. They like, let's see if this bug works out. And they are now starting a deeper federal investigation. All of those planes are grounded. I do not know what it means to travel and transportation, but boy, I know that I'm glad we on the Soul Plane. But I know when I fly, I'm gonna be going outside like, excuse me, what kind of plane is this? I'm gonna be like, I need to see the serial numbers, take all them stickers off. Right, I want to see everything. I want to see the papers. Think about that though, cause you know what? They say all the time you have more chance of dying in a car crash than a plane crash.
Right.
But why does it seem like a plane crash is so much more devastating?
Surprisingly, I know somebody whose parents died in a plane crash.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Both of them.
Ooh. On the same plane?
On the same plane, yeah.
Was it a private plane or was it a...
No, it was one of those big crashes. I think it was TWO. It was, I think, in the early 80s.
Oh, okay. I think what...
TWA.
It almost feels like back in the day, I could always you can almost remember most of the major plane crashes from when I was a kid.
Yeah. If it happened in America, it sit out in your head.
Yeah. You know what, y'all? It is time for us to go to traffic and weather. So we'll be back after traffic and weather. It's the WVON morning show. Maze Jackson, Ty Stroger all week. We are out of here. Peace.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago.
What's up, y'all? Take a moment, share the broadcast, share the broadcast, share the broadcast. Okay, we gotta redo this commercial. So Maze and Joe Walsh and y'all got us coming to Rhythm Nation from Janet Jackson. We need to do better.
I think that's just right. You guys, Janet Jackson, she's loved by both sides.
Show ass. Ty, Wisconsin, man.
Oh, Wisconsin. You know, I told you I went to Wisconsin until Wisconsin. And we had a summer place in Wisconsin. Spent a lot of time in Wisconsin. And man, that's a nice school, man. You know how it is. It's a Big Ten school. All Big Ten schools are nice schools.
Man, Wisconsin is where the old man went.
And now Wisconsin is like it's a great basketball school, and their stars tend to be people from Chicago.
You know, because you know what? So Wisconsin, my very first college basketball game was at the University of Wisconsin. I went to go see Trent Jackson and Danny Jones. They played. It was right before Wisconsin got over the hump, right? Because remember, Wisconsin used to just be like a bottom of the barrel Big Ten school on sports until they got Barry Alvarez.
That's not true. They were the middle of the barrel.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't good. They weren't bad. They were just okay.
A lot of people went to Wisconsin though. Like.
Oh, yeah.
Wisconsin, though, was a very liberal school, and I think they had, like, a very good scholarship program for black people. Like, I think they had a minority.
Very liberal. Yeah. When I say the whole thing, I shouldn't say that. Like, you
You
go up north, and they ain't seen black folks before. So.
Right.
But, yeah, that whole Madison thing, that's a very liberal.
A bastion of liberal principles.
19-year-old mayor once.
Okay, stand up in it. Okay, you got the camera. I'm gonna be back. You got questions, Todd. People want to talk to you. I can't wait to talk about this endorsement. This is no permanent friends, no permanent enemies. But boy.
Hey, you gotta work with people you know and do with the things that you think you see. So I think I see something, and I think I know some people.
I think it's a no. So I have a couple observations on this one, and I'll share them a little bit later, but I do have, so there's two observations that I have. First, it's really a no-lose for you. And secondly, a lot of the people that's talking smack watched, like, man, if you've been in the wilderness, and trust me, I know what it's like to be in the wilderness, especially politically, and I know what it feels, and everybody cheers you on as you starve, right? Like, everybody's like, you fight on!
Right.
Fight! Tuition's due, you want to eat, and it's like, you made your way in a certain space. I think that it's like, we got to have people on both sides. And I just think we got to have people on both sides. And I think that most of us are picking like we have access to either one of the candidates. If I had access to a candidate, like, and I knew I had access to that candidate,
that'd be your person.
That would be my person.
Yeah.
And it's like when I posted this weekend that the object of politics is to win, people were like, and that's the sellout. No, what losers have been effective?
You're right.
What's the effective, like, what game is it that you played to lose? All right, y'all, take a moment, shut the broadcast. Back in town, boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. You are tuned into Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting there with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. Todd, you know...
Hey man, those were the days when you can watch Don Kirshner's Rock, whatever that was.
Who?
Don Kirshner. Don Kirshner is the guy who was the producer and really the creative person for the Monkees. And then he had a show where they had live bands. And then there was also a midnight special, which came on at midnight, but, you know, I didn't know where to go on Saturday or Friday. So I watched that. Those were the good old days, man.
You know, I used to watch Friday night videos, man.
Yeah, I watched those too.
Okay, Friday night videos, that was my thing.
But this is the early 70s. They didn't have, like, a lot of video shows or any video shows.
Well, the early 70s, I was probably walking around in a pamper, trying to figure it all out. And then I think maybe the late 70s, no, early 80s, there was On TV. So I was busy trying to see through the scrambles. Late at night, like... See, look, you're just a baby. You got to remember. If you really want to remember something, you ain't old school unless you had On TV or you didn't have On TV, and then when you had sleepovers, you was trying to look at the Spectrum too,
Yeah.
Original cable, man. All right, y'all. Let me get back to this. What's going on WVON morning show? Let's get to some of these headlines, Todd. Yesterday, did you see the Chicago State Mayoral Forum yesterday?
No.
That was like, way to take the air out of that one. No.
On Facebook, I was reading some comments. People thought it was a little disorganized.
You know.
Some people, you know.
So I feel like that sort of what happens in these things is that there is this movement afoot from us. Okay, can I say this without being offensive? I think that right now, there is, people are trying to the old school is trying to kind of reestablish some order to this madness, is what I see. And so what I saw yesterday, respect to everybody, but what I saw was, why do I feel like there is this generational tug of war that is happening in this race? And it's not over the candidates as much as it is over who is not the king of the black people, because Father Flake is the king of the black people, but who are the real directors and influencers of the black community. And I see all of the, like yesterday I was watching, and I felt like there are relevant issues that are happening right now that a lot of people may not. I feel like so many times, and I was talking about this yesterday, there is a genuine disconnect between the people who are on the stage and the people who are in the audience. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's the same way with our black business political elite and our people. Like the business elite and the politicians are all on the stage and they're talking to each other. And then there's this audience out here that they're not resonating with, but they are hearing what they're saying to each other. And it just, I don't know, Todd, it just seems like this generational pull that is happening.
I was going to wait till 7.
Okay, well, let's wait till 7. Okay, well, let's go to 7. We can wait till 7, but it really, I saw so shout out to the Chicago State, everybody who put it on, because it was a great attempt. I didn't understand, like, the lineup or the people walk. Let me stop. Anyway, shout out to everybody who went to the Chicago State Forum yesterday. Did you see Tony Preckwinkle is getting karmic. Did you see the story in the newspaper yesterday today about the housing issue? and her son, and being a poor landlord, or the neighbors complaining about, what was it, the Preckwinkles, that her neighbors are complaining that she's a bad neighbor and ignores their complaints. Now, I read that story yesterday, and you know I am not a cheerleader. I am not a fan necessarily.
Right.
But I was kind of like, dang, if this is a hit piece, if there ain't never been a hit piece, this is a hit piece. They got a son. They talked about stalking, restraining orders, all type of stuff. I was like, they crammed it all in this one, man.
This is when the press has decided that they want to favor one candidate over the other. And so they start talking about little minor stuff that you wouldn't even think about in an election and the elected official. That, you know, it's the slow drip.
Well, shoot, that was like a fire hose yesterday. That was like, take a drink out of this.
Well, one person on Facebook said, you know, I thought family members were out of bounds, but I guess they're not.
I said something like that too. And I actually, I didn't even share the article. I commented on the article, but I didn't share, you know. But let me stop. I'm going to let it be at that. Hey, Chicago is the top 10 housing market. Did you all know that?
You know, I listen to Perry's show, and sometimes I'm lucky enough to catch the real estate guy, who's really entertaining. And he was saying that, like where I live in Avalon and Chatham and some of the other black areas, housing values have gone up, and there's a lot of churn. People are buying and selling.
There's a lot of churn. You know, one of the things that I want to talk about, though, is as this churn happens and it's a housing market, I don't know how much that fits into the narrative that when we talk about people leaving. Because I know, like, if you can make a killing on your house and get out, like a lot of people in your neighborhood comes and they say, hey, we'd like to buy your house, like what's happening in South Shore. And
Right.
You've been living in a trap and they're like, I'll buy it for $350,000. You be like, man, I'm out of here. Right?
Because that's real money.
That's real money. You can
Right.
go get your fresh start. So that we got to talk about that as well as part of the contributing factors. All right, y'all. Time for the social media. When we come back, it's the social media question of the day. I don't know if you all saw these flyers that have been circulating. The LGBT, the anti-LGBT, Lori Lightfoot, gay agenda flyers that have been circulating on social media.
I saw it on Facebook. Well, someone mentioned it on Facebook.
And then it was also on cars outside of churches. You know what? I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about it, how effective it is. Right? I got some perspective, but I would love to hear from the WVON family, because I know everybody is, not everybody, but if you haven't, we'll describe what it is, what it was, and is it necessary? Sometimes I wonder, do we need to burn the whole bridge down before We'll talk about it all when we come back after traffic, news, and the weather. God, this screen is blowing. Okay, they need to tighten this. The ball. Mm-hmm. Yep, because it's already. The boys are back in town. All right, y'all, get ready. We're going to have a good conversation. I missed my traditional picture. Usually, you know, this time of year, everybody goes and finds pictures and reposts them. What's up? Take a moment, share the broadcast, What up, Rodney Ware? What up, Charmaine Henry? What up, Daryl Stiff? What up, Janessa Martin? What up, Charmaine Henry? What up, Rodney Ware? What up, Steel Stovall? What up, Daryl Stiff? What up, Janessa Martin? What up, James Matthews Jr.? What up, Patton Vaughn? What up, Tiger? What up, Demetrius Thomas? What up, Principal Elania Moore? What up, Edlon Dave Sigler? What up, Susan Nyblack? What up, Kemet Pryor? What up, Nikita Nietzsche? What up, Ronald? What up, Ian J. Leverson? All right, y'all. Take a moment, share the broadcast. What's up to everybody that's rocking on YouTube? We got us some internets back up in this mug so I can save my data plan. So, now I got this one. I got to do my wind-up. Todd, you can talk to the people.
No, Maze has to. He's meditating.
I gotta get my proper wind up.
He's got to get his groove on right now. So I woke up like about 2:30. I can hear my son walking around. And I was like, man, why are you not asleep? He's 19, but he lives a strange life. I'm like, man, you gotta get out. Get off that computer. Can't be staying up till 3 o'clock all the time. Shoot. Real people live in the daylight. That's an aside that my wife would probably say don't talk about. Can't say it on the air, at least. Oh, man. Boy, life for me has changed. May's 7 minutes away from the studio. I used to be 7 minutes away in a car. Now it's half an hour. That means I gotta get up early. And I gotta even feel like I need to wake up early. But Kat and I got up, walked around, had some orange juice. Good start to the day. It's too early for a nap. I'm gonna have to look on somebody's Facebook and see that debate they had at Chicago State, though. I'm pretty sure it was interesting. I talked to Tony Pretwinkle yesterday before she went out, and she didn't ask me, but I gave her my take on a few things. I guess we'll talk about that at 7. Mays, I believe, is absolutely correct that there's a disconnect about what people want to hear and what candidates want to talk about. The candidates get all this information from these so-called experts who tell them what people should hear from them, which doesn't always make any sense at all. But in that politics, you always got somebody. Everything about government is having an expert somewhere. And they're supposed to tell you. When I was in Springfield on the floor, he'd be talking about a bill, and there'd be some technical expert, a lawyer, usually, talking in your ear, telling you all the details of it, and answering questions for you, so you can answer questions that other people ask you. There's always a technician whose job it is to know what they're talking about, but it doesn't always translate as well as it should. Sometimes the politicians have to feel the crowd. But everybody doesn't do that well. They may do other things well, but that may not be one of their strengths. I mean, that's, I think, what made people like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, Ronald Reagan, so popular. They had a lot of, well, even George Bush, the second one, they had some charisma that people connected to. And that's not always what politicians, especially on the local
Look at this
level, have.
picture. Look at Carrie.
Is she looking like, what the hell? Where is that? Is that like a campaign style?
Organization meeting. Oh. And you know, she like.
Is that 27?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I gotta go to one. I gotta get on the mailing list.
Man, you gotta get on the list. You trying to join? You got to look, man. You can't be coming over to the side. You gonna have to kiss the ring, man. Man, we don't charge you to get on the list, man. You know, you gonna have to swear your allegiance to the. You flipping?
I state your name.
Go ahead. Hold on, come on. Say it right here. Give it to us on camera. I, Ty Stroger.
I, Ty Stroger.
Hereby do avow myself.
Do hereby avow myself.
As an official member of the 27th Ward.
As an official member of the 27th Ward.
Thus denying all other ward organizations before me.
So help me God.
See, that's how we be flipping them. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger.
Mace, I stopped listening to songs like that once I got married.
Why you stopped listening to sounds like that,
Man, I
man?
don't need no crying songs about I'm leaving and you bad.
You know
I
what?
want uplifting songs like, yeah, baby, we together.
That, you know what? What's on your? You know what? We're gonna have to get the Todd Stroger playlist one of these days. Post that on. We're gonna turn that into a social media post. What Todd? What is on your?
Laugh at me, don't you?
Man, let me tell you what. People should not laugh at musical choices because music to me, I think I can find something in anything. I can find enjoyment in live music of any kind, and so I don't ever knock people for their music choice. I used to go, you listen to country, but then I'd be like, I was country when country wasn't cool. You know, I go, the closer you get, the further I fall. You know, I can go back on the country. See, I listen to a whole bunch of stuff. So look, but you know what, Todd, this election cycle is reaching what I like to call as a very familiar point. This is like we are now at the closing arguments. We are now at the point where people are starting to, early voting is now available in all 50 wards. I'm still saying black folks shouldn't be voting early yet because I still don't know what's in it for the black people from either of these candidates.
I'm with you. We need to hear more because no one has truly spoken to us yet.
And so, but there's this part of the campaign is also, I used to talk about the sense of inevitability. We just got through talking about the hit piece that the Sun-Times did on Tony Preckwinkle. But there's also a point of time in a campaign when I call a point of desperation. Actually, someone pointed out, so I've been involved in about 3 losing races. 3.
Mm-hmm.
No, 2. 2 losing races. I lost Lance Tyson and I lost Ken Duncan. Right? So those were, and I really wasn't Ken Duncan. But anyway, I've been involved in 2 losses. And when I've been involved in losses, and I've seen this in campaigns around, particularly in the black community, a point of desperation. The point of desperation usually comes when the money and the donations start to dry up. You don't have that big flush of cash. People aren't rushing to you. The big supporters that you had, they like, look, man, we done gave you $2 million. Well, what you gonna do? You ain't doing nothing with that. The poll numbers aren't looking good. People stop returning your calls. You know what I'm saying? You call people who would ordinarily jump, but now they're kind of trying to duck you because they don't really want to. Your friends don't stand up with you and support you like you're in
fear of death.
Right. And so now as you start to reach this point of desperation and things start to dry up, you start cutting campaign staff. You may start to make decisions, but then this is the time also when the mercenaries come. It's like when the mercenaries descend and they like, aha, no political strategy, no political game, but they got the magic bullet.
Right.
The magic bullet. So usually these guys will come up with like a magic flyer. It'll be so foul. It'll make the news. It'll make the news. People will be like, oh my God, what is this? But essentially what it does is usually inspire the other campaign, helps them raise money, as well as forces your candidate or the person that you're supporting to respond. In this case, have you seen the anti-LGBT flyers that are circulating online and that have also been placed on churches outside of cars outside of the churches that Lori Lightfoot has appeared at? No,
and to be honest with you, there's certain things like as I'm strolling through Facebook and I see it, I just keep on going. Like I'm not interested.
So the question becomes, because here's the thing. I know what the effect of doing that. So first of all, it's the point of desperation that campaigns usually reach. And so if they don't have experienced campaign staff that know how to lose gracefully, you're often tempted to start making deals with the devil. You're often tempted to deal with people you would ordinarily never even speak with, but you know, you got in the last $10,000 here, and you want to throw a flyer. You know, you want to pull something.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know that it's going to, in the case of this anti-LGBT flyer, it has now inspired all of these. It's now in all of the newspapers, right? All the newspapers are reporting on it. It has now become a catalyst for fundraising for Lori Lightfoot. And very shortly, I'm sure they're going to try and make Tony Preckwinkle respond to it.
Right. Well, I think you hit it on the head. You have to, I don't care where you are in the campaign, you got to know who you're dealing with and what their tactics are, and you can't fall for them. You can't just hire anybody.
Right. You know,
that does happen.
And so usually this is the time in the campaign when the vultures come out. The people with little campaign experience, because really you can't get the people who know what's going on. They say, no, I'm not going to jump in this now because the house is already burning. So, but I guess the real question is...
You know, and part of it is, sometimes in these large campaigns like this, there are people who are close to the candidate who try to keep everybody else out.
Right.
They're like, oh no, we know what we're doing. So, you know, good advice goes unheeded.
Uh-huh. So here's my question now. My question is, because we know what the effects of this flyer are having for Lori Lightfoot. This is making her another hero, right? It's like all the white liberals are like, oh my God, we've got to stand up. I'm getting fundraising emails. I bet she done raised about another $50,000 to $100,000 just off that flyer. And now it's the city that loves, the city. But that's neither here nor there. Because obviously the goal is to either depress, you either want to depress the vote or raise the vote. Do you think that those flyers being distributed helps? So here's the social media question of the day. How effective are the anti-LGBTQ flyers targeting Lori Lightfoot in the black community? Are they effective? Does that make you say, oh my God, I'm not going to vote for her? Does it make you say, oh my God, I'm going to vote for Tony Preckwinkle? Or does it make you sit out? Give us a call. The phone number is 312-888. Okay. Oh, got it. 312-374-8130. Give us a call. 312-374-8130. Because I want to understand, because clearly, whoever's put him out is obviously working on Tony Preckwinkle's behalf, right? Would that be the assumption? If it's the gay agenda, and let me ask the question: do spelling errors count? Do grammatical errors count? Does that help you? Okay, I'm being a jerk. I'm sorry. Social media question of the day: how effective are the anti-LGBTQ flyers targeting Lori Lightfoot in the black community? Go to Brother Hall, line 2. Line 2. Brother Hall, you're on the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM.
Good morning, and I too enjoyed yesterday's show. It was fantastic. But let me just say this, man. No, I do not believe that her campaign or Tony would stoop to that level. It smells like, to me now, it smells like Clem Balanoff and company. I told you a week or so ago with the Clem Balanoff movement, who tries to be the kingmaker of these unions. I saw him on stage yesterday. See, that frightens me. When I start seeing the 19th Ward and the Clem Balanoffs, them backing someone who obvious that the black community was going to raise up and back, then that bothers me. No, I think it has all of Clem Balanoff's prints on this, and sooner or later it'll come out.
Thank you, Brother Hall. You know what? Brother Hall always provides some good insight and perspective. I got my own suspicions as to where it came from, because it's written in the same voice that we saw. You know what, Todd? This happened at the end of your campaign. I don't know if you remember that flyer that came out at the end of your campaign, and everybody had to respond to it, and everybody was like, where did this come from? I think it was Boy, it is funny how time flies.
No, it is. Shit, I can barely remember, 2 years ago. You're talking, what, how many years?
I'm sure if I Googled it,
9 years.
I bet if I Googled it, I could find it right now because I remember the stories as plain as day. And it seems like the same people doing the same tactics 20 years later, and here we are. And all it's doing, in my estimation, is only more inspiring the people on the north side. It doesn't necessarily turn out more black people. It doesn't make more black people say, oh my God. It probably turns them off from the process. And right now, if you're trying to help Tony Preckwinkle, or you're trying to do the bidding of someone else, then it seems like you need to figure out how do you inspire black turnout, not drive it down. But that's what happens when you go to the mercenaries who really, have they ever won? You gotta ask yourself, have these dudes ever, what have you ever seen them win?
Yeah, there's some people out there who are, their tactics are emotional and kind of destroy everything, turn on the flamethrower.
And this is where I feel like it shows that the campaign is desperate at this point. We'll talk about it when we come back to Talk Chicago. I think he got one wrong. I wasn't with Pat Quinn when he lost.
Oh.
I was the one who helped. So I lost Ken Duncan and I did lose Lance Tyson, but both of those were losing propositions anyway. The fact of the matter was, go ahead.
Lance's campaign reminded me of when Howard Kenner ran against Jim Phelan. Jim Phelan was from the 23rd Ward, and the 23rd Ward was able to have Jim Phelan, pretty decent guy, but he was definitely white. And the district was definitely like 70% black, but they beat Paul Williams by having another Williams. I think it was a John Williams in the race. And they split the vote. Phelan wins. Howard runs against them. Howard runs as a Harold Washington candidate. And Howard walked the district and he said, black people there said to him, he said, Howard, man, I'd vote for you if you're a Democrat. Lance Tyson had that same problem. He was running as some kind of independent, if I remember correctly. Who? Lance. Right. And people vote Democratic. They're like, go with the Democrat. Right. So, it's a no-win situation.
And it was a vendetta campaign, quite frankly. It was a vendetta campaign because Mr. White was mad at Derek Smith, and I got drafted on that campaign. It's like
but the vendetta campaigns work when you're powerful in the Democratic primary.
Right.
But in the general, when you're not a Democrat, it's not quite the same.
And they didn't.
You gotta remember Charles Morrow?
Mm-hmm.
Man, Charles pissed off. You can't say that. Either way.
We don't.
That's right. He pissed off the 17th Ward. They went against him. I was talking to Madigan, and Madigan was like, Charles in trouble. and Madigan, Charles was one of his guys, but he was like, Charles in trouble. The 17th Ward is the ward that makes that district, and he lost. So,
so here's the thing. I think that there's a such thing as people who are campaign professionals and people who have worked on campaigns, and then there are people that have had absolutely no experience but take advantage of awkward social situations. Now, I'm going to tell you that somebody financed that because ain't nobody gonna pay for that out their pocket, right? No. Nobody's gonna pay for it. So somebody thought that they were like, yeah, go ahead. But again, it's like I always say, you don't do anything that's going to make your opponent people wake up and be motivated. So like when you see that the early vote, they're saying that there's a record number of youth early vote ballots, and they're all being requested out of the two white wards that Lori dominated, and we know, right? It's like don't do things that are going to further alienate the community, because part of it is you're going to reinforce a narrative of homophobia, not homophobia, because I don't, not fear, but you're going to, black people are going to wear the vest of that bullshit from somebody who, again, what's the purpose? Like, what ultimately was the purpose of doing that?
Hey, it reminds me, during my tenure, I got some advice about doing something with the hospital research thing we had. And it became a battle between me and the gay community. And in those days, I had too much in my mind. I wasn't always thinking straight. So I fight this battle, which is a losing battle. There's no way I can win this battle. But I fight it for, a period of time, and then eventually, like, oh, what the hell am I doing? Let me get out of here. but by then, the brush has already been used.
Right.
So you're right.
And the person that pays the price is the candidate.
Yes, that's right.
Huh?
No, it's just Sonia singing this song, and I'm just surprised to hear this
Go
song right now. Still trapped within my youth. Of course, that's not true. And sometimes when we touch, the honesty is too much, and I have to close my eyes and hide. I won't hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. I wanna hold you till the tear in me subsides.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Sitting in with me, as he will be all week, it is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. And Todd, the social media...
Sonny's trying to make me cry. I see her over there crying. She's singing and crying.
Yeah, you should have seen that.
In the early 80s, that would have been on my
playlist.
I Need to Cry playlist.
Wait a minute, you have an I Need to Cry playlist?
Oh, I Need to Be Sad playlist, probably more like it.
Wait, you need to be sad. Wait, they make those?
Which I didn't have a girlfriend, so it was I Need to Cry.
All right, y'all. This is the WVON Morning Show. I Need to Cry playlist. I've never heard of one of those. Look, so social media question of the day. How effective are the anti-LGBT flyers targeting Lori Lightfoot in the black community? I want to know, again, was it effective? Right? So we know it's going to be effective for Lori Lightfoot because she got fundraising emails going all over the place. This is the city that loves, all of that. So I want to know whoever the genius was that decided to go to churches and make a news. This is not what you call a positive news story for the Preckwinkle campaign. This is a story of, no matter how you shape it, no matter how we feel about what's going on, to the masses, this is like the real Jussie Smollett thing. This is Lori Lightfoot could claim that she really was. So help me understand, how is this effective? Because it's not, like, I feel like people, now you can get paid to do it, but Todd, your campaign, somebody comes to you and does this, first of all, do you believe that Lori Lightfoot is part of a gay agenda to take over City Hall?
Oh, no, I think the agenda is much larger than, much larger than the gay community. They're just part of it. There's a whole massive group who wants, but I think it's what people have been saying. It's the same thing. It's nothing new. These are the same people we've seen before in power that are behind her.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you guys, and it's like, it's not about I just feel like we need to really, at the end of this election, get ourselves together politically. I think that we have showed ourselves as politically desperate, inept, and unable to take advantage of a situation that was created for us. And right now, our answer, the best we got, is some gay flyers on cars. That's the best we can do. I am suggesting that if there was a move to, if the black community decided that they did not want Lori Lightfoot, then we got to be better organized than putting flyers on cars with misspellings and incorrect grammar. You know what? Am I being petty? That's probably me being petty, but
No,
it's like...
No, you're not. Because this is such low-level politics that I never really like. Let's see if I can say something really nasty about somebody and then people stop liking it.
Yeah, I got it. I figured it out. I said me and my guys are in our room and we're in our basement making up these flyers and this is gonna be the... You know what, y'all? Can we do better next political cycle? It's Talk Chicago. We'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather. We'll take the calls.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation. 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Yeah, that was a good old song.
Yeah, Kevin.
That song was my roommate Samuel McCarthy. He was from Evanston. We were down in Xavier. That was his mother's favorite song. I remember him telling me that. Not that I know if you on Facebook heard that song. But yeah, you know. I remember going to the Bismarck. Was it the Bismarck? Yeah, the Bismarck Hotel. The party would meet there, the Democratic Party. And this is probably in the early 90s. No. This is before Clinton was president, because I hadn't been elected yet. So maybe it's the very late 80s, 89 or 88 or something like that. And there was a black guy who came around, and his thing was doing campaign work. And then I talked to him a few times, I got to know him. And then one day my dad came out, and I was talking to him, and he said, hey, don't talk to that guy. He doesn't do what he needs. He doesn't get it. He says he's going to do things, and then nothing ever happens. So you got to look for effectiveness. And I know plenty of people who got a lot of spirit, and they're like, we got to do this and do that. But, you know, if that energy can't be channeled in a way that's positive for you, you got to stay away from it. So
It's like they don't be trying to win. They just be trying to... It's like, again...
Like anarchists.
Right. It's like they just want to burn something down. They don't want to win. They don't have no objective. Just want to blow something up. And the fact of the matter is, this is how, again, same premise at every meeting. When you ask why I say I ain't meeting with the same people no more, because this same dumb shit is the same dumb shit that the same dumb shit was happening 20 fucking years ago. Doing the same dumb shit. And I really could pull up the flyer because I do have it. And I could pull up the article because I did see it, and it did become a news story, and other people are talking about it on the internet, on Facebook and social media right now. So I don't need to keep crushing it, but I'm just going to tell you, it's like y'all got to stop letting this fool lead y'all down this goddamn rabbit hole. Jesus Christ. It's like, when has the motherfucker ever said anything positive, ever, about anybody? If you ain't paying, the motherfucker is like, I'm gonna make a flyer. Aha! I'm gonna make another flyer. Nigga. It's like COINTELPRO gotta go. It's like this is the same dumb shit you just raised that lady $100,000 easy off that shit. Easy. That's gonna be a national fundraising tool. I would be like, and this is the hate. She'll be like, this is the hate that I face. Man, she gonna be on a national tour raising money on your dumb ass. Am I crazy? I'm telling you, you take that flyer. They already sent out, the National freaking LGBT Fund of America has already sent out a press release talking about the hate that Lori Lightfoot is facing in Chicago.
Oh no, I think you're right. She might be going to California soon, New York, all the big cities to raise more money. It's a fundraising piece, but it's for the side that they're supposed to be trying to get. So I don't know. It's crazy stuff.
Sorry, Mama. Sorry, Mom. I'm tired of COINTELPRO sending everybody off. And once again, I'm just telling y'all be every meeting we go, but we got to make a space. Keep on making a space for your own demise. Same stuff, 20 years. 20 years, same place, doing the same thing.
I do remember some guys following me around. We gonna get you, Stroger. We gonna record you. Are we record what you said? They gonna get you. Yeah. I don't know who was paying them back then. Well, I know who was paying them. Sonny Craig. Who else was paying them? Yeah.
And then once Tony got through paying, guess what? Then once Tony got through paying, then they wound up in the newspaper. Let me stop. I'm not going to go here. Oh, there was a world before social media. And I'm just going to tell y'all, boy. What's up, Erica from Fort Lauderdale? Man, some boats. So yeah, we gotta do better. Hey, Antonio, call Sheldon, please. No, I'm just saying, Todd. It's like, I don't think anybody should be mad at anybody for any choices they make in this race, because nobody has anything coming from either candidate. So right now, I feel like this is one of those, get what you can get from whoever you gonna get it, because there is no unified decision. And so all these people trying to make it like, oh, if you pick this person, you wrong. If you pick this person, you wrong. We ain't made no decision, and ain't nobody out here that can pick for us. Now, if you want to, like I say, turn out. I'll hit you up afterwards. Turn up. I feel like after this election, we have to really start to think about what are the outcomes that we want as a black community politically. And we need to build a new type of political organization. I'm telling you like this. I believe that I believe that if you did it properly, just like Bill Dawson, you could take the whole thing. You could take the whole damn thing. Right? 50 people, 18 wards, they commit to 4 hours of manpower hours a month.
Hey man, you stole my idea.
That's not your idea.
Yeah, it's my idea.
I got it written down and that is already part of a written plan that is being presented to people around the city of Chicago.
Am I on Facebook?
Yeah.
Man, you stole my idea.
That's 3 years old. It's been presented. It has been shared. Huh?
I'm 56.
You going back to the party. You went back. You went back to her.
No, actually, my idea is a little different. My idea was it wasn't about political. It was actually about volunteerism.
We back?
I think so.
Little horse named Paul Revere. It's me and my horse in a quart of beer. Right across the land, sicking up sand, sheriff posses on my tail cause I'm in the hand. One lonely beastie I be, all by myself without nobody. The sun is beating down on my baseball hat. The air is getting hot, the beer is getting flat. Looking for a girl, I ran into a guy. His name is MCA. I said howdy, he said hi. He told a little story, it sounded well rehearsed. You're turning a thirst. You was on my sip. for a sip. I said, can I get some? I said, you can't get none. He pulled into chest a run, pulled out a shotgun. Quick on the draw, I thought I'd be dead. He put the gun to my head, and this is what he said. When we was MCA, I got a license to kill. I think I know what time it is. It's time to get ill. That's what we have here. Oh, you going in this beer? You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Ty Stroger. Hey, y'all.
The Beastie Boys were good. I never listened to Paul Revere. But they are the first group. This is how the world works. They're the first rap group I heard on the radio, on the major. I was in New Orleans. It was a major, not a urban station, just one of the regular ones.
So, wait, you didn't hear?
They actually said I could shoot somebody.
Oh,
that's the first time I heard a rap song where they actually shot somebody in it.
White boys can shoot people in this comedy. Black people shoot in this drill.
Yeah.
You know what? I remember the Beastie Boys, but the first song I heard on the radio rap. Oh, but they couldn't say it was Run DMC. All right, look, let me do this. Let me say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as the Wonder Twins. That's Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor, and Sonia Tompkins. She is the super producer. My man Ty Stroger sitting there with me. And let's finish up this social media question of the day, because I see phone calls. I see the phones lit up, and y'all got questions. So, without any further ado, social media question of the day: how effective are the anti-LGBT flyers in the black community? I think that they serve fundamentally to inspire the opposition, as well as raise money, and it forces your candidate to have to respond. That story is all over the newspapers. There are press releases, fundraiser emails going out, the whole thing. But I guess the whole point is it effective in the black community where it's supposed to target? Because I do believe that someone is trying to inflame the black LGBT situation that is competition for resources. I agree with that, but I think there's a win-win here. What do you think, Todd?
No, I think you're right. I remember when Glenn Bouchard ran, and he was so conservative that the minority groups, the black people and the Hispanics, they wouldn't go with him. He won the primary, but he couldn't win the general. He was just too far to the right. And I think that's what they're trying to do, but I'm with you. This is a failed strategy.
All right, well, let's go to the phone lines. Let's start with Miss Shannon. Shannon, you're on the Talk Chicago, 1690.
Yes, thank you so much for taking my call. I just would like to know, where are these anti-gay Lori Lightfoot flyers disseminated? I live in the heart of the Black South Side community. I attend one of the largest black churches on the South Side. I shop in one of the largest shopping centers, and I have not seen the flyers. This seems like an adolescent activity from an adolescent mind. And President Stroger, I'm so glad that you're there with your mature talent and your mature perspective on things. So I just want to know, where are they being disseminated? I have yet to see one.
Hey, Miss Shannon. Thank you, Miss Shannon. I appreciate you. Todd, I'm so glad you're here to bring the maturity to this conversation.
Well,
I'm
very vanilla, and I love vanilla all my life.
You know what? So I am going to tell you. So, Miss Shannon, I believe that the flyer, you maybe want to read the newspaper, and it'll tell you where they were distributed. I think if you're on social media, Miss Shannon, you can find them all over.
No, but I think she's got a point. I think the point that you might have missed from what she said is that it showed that the people who were doing this weren't very good at what they were doing. It was a level of, yeah, they probably hit a few black churches, but she's like, they missed all the big places where black people are, the mega churches, all that kind of stuff. And it was amateurish.
But the other part that I think happened with that situation is, it's like if it goes to social and it goes to the press, then it was effective negatively.
Right. That's why it's amateurish, because it did nothing that you wanted to do. At least I would think so. Who knows what side they're working for?
Next caller, please.
All right, let's go to Byron. Brian, you're on the South of Chicago, 1690 AM.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I want to say, when did you come to the conclusion that the best and brightest that left Chicago? Because I'm listening to this show. It's silliness. You're not even talking about sanctuary cities and jobs. Like, we're talking about homosexuality. That's the top platform of this election now. I just think Chicago is just like the city it was 15 years ago. If it got silly, and you say you can't wait till next election cycle, it's going to get even more silly. I think it's just a city where a lot of people are leaving, and the best and brightest is gone from there. Now you got silliness now. That's my comment. Thanks for hearing me.
Thank you, Brian. We appreciate you, man. Go to Janie. Janie on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Hi, Maze. I just wanted to say we were about to storm the station yesterday, so glad to see you back.
What you mean you was going to storm the station, Jamie? What happened?
That's like, they didn't say anything about you were not going to be there. They just came on We Love Amara and Dr. Carol, but hey, where's my Maze?
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for listening to our silly show.
No, I just want to say very quickly that I think people are in a different space right now because even like at my church, one of the candidates came to my church and the response was very tepid. It's not just simply that a preacher puts a person up and everybody goes running to that person. People are thinking for themselves because they see the situation, and that's very encouraging to me. And as far as the LGBT, black people, we embrace everybody. We just want to get close enough to them to pray that spirit out.
I heard that. Go ahead, Janie, and let's take Randy. Randy on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Randy. How are you?
Good, and good morning to your co-host.
Good morning, Randy.
Yes, good morning. I concur with a number of things that you said, Maze, as well as, Todd and the young lady in the studio with you all. I have much respect for you all. I think you're doing a really good job and good service in terms of trying to raise critical questions that people need to cogitate or think about. Because it's important that we need to ponder these questions. And I think we need to also raise the question about agenda. We need to present, I think if we have, some of our people already have, a few people have, at least presented agendas to Tony Preckwinkle as well as Lloyd Lightfoot's camp. That flyer, I think, is going to have maybe a minimal effect. I think at the time they're going to talk about, but after a while it's going to dissipate. It's not going to be that long in terms of this effectiveness. But I think that people need to understand, according to Todd Boyd's book, the new head Negro in charge, which talks about the depth of the civil rights movement and the reign of hip hop, and it talks about a clash between the various generations. So game recognizes game, and people need to understand that. That's what's going on. So it's just some political play hating on the part of a number of people and stuff who see another group of people, a group or generation who are doing quite well, being very effective in terms of reaching the masses, etc., and organizing and mobilizing people behind their agenda. So I think those are some of the critical issues I think that need to be raised, and I think we need to hold our people accountable. And I just think that flyer, I think it's not going to have that much of an impact after. They'll go away after a week or 2 weeks.
Thanks, Randy. I appreciate you. That's researcher Randy. You know Randy, boy. He got you.
No, I know Randy.
You put Randy down, Randy will pull up. He can tell you about everybody from everything. Look, y'all. I guess what I'm really asking for is the end of our political immaturity. To really start to think about how are we going to play this thing going forward. It's the Talk of Chicago 1690. We'll be back. When we come back, I want to talk about the concept of endorsements. There were a lot of endorsements came out last week. Todd, you made an endorsement. There were some unions that made endorsements. We saw Jerry Joyce. It seemed like Lori Lightfoot was rolling in the endorsements. But I want to talk about why do people endorse? What makes them endorse? And what does it mean? What's the effect of it? We'll talk about that. Plus, we're also going to talk about these aldermanic runoffs, which have become a little tempting. I mean, there's some real races going on right now. We'll talk about that. That 5th Ward is turning into something. Ooh, 6th Ward too. Everybody like, it's going a little crazy around here. We'll talk about it all when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
With Maze Jackson.
You got the camera, Todd.
All right. Oh, phew. Maze has a really good rendition of Speaker Madigan on his computer. I don't know where he got that from. I mean, it is really his face. And I'm like, man, I know that face. The crown thing, I don't know if he ever actually has one of those, but that face is pretty darn well done.
The kind.
Yeah.
Father Flake is the king of the black people.
Well, Father Flake is the king of the black people. That's right.
He is the king of the black. Ain't Father Flake the king of the black people?
You know, I enjoy Father Flaker. He has his space. And
as the kind.
But I don't mind, because you know Father Flaker's been in this neighborhood since he was a kid. He's been there forever. So it's interesting to see someone who hasn't left their neighborhood. So it's his neighborhood too, just like it's our neighborhood. People who live there. But man, in this political sphere, you know, we do need a level of maturity, but mostly we need to actually work and work together. And that's all about organizing. You know, we would have meetings at the ward organization, and I mean, there were some times where there's just nothing going on. You know, there's no politics, nothing really happening. My dad would just call a meeting to get everybody together so we can discuss the world and remember that there's a mission to what we do. And you know, it's trying to keep people informed, trying to keep people engaged, not let them forget that there are politicians who are making decisions about their lives every day. You know, and that took work, you know. We had 73 precinct captains and at least 73 assistant precinct captains out there trying to touch people. You don't have that anymore. You're not going to have that. My whole spiel is that the mayor, because you know people, I see this on Facebook all the time. Oh, this Democratic machine this Democratic machine that. You know, Tony's the boss of the Democratic machine. Hey man, they ain't no real machine. I heard somebody say this the other day. They say, how did they put it? But basically, there's some cogs in the machine that still work, but the machine isn't what it was. It barely runs anymore. There's some groups who are very successful. There's some groups who are successful for themselves, and then there's some groups that practically don't have any ability to get words out to people, to disseminate information, to really talk to people. So, as I always say, the machine is whoever the mayor is. The speaker has a machine, and I suspect in some ways the president of the Senate has a machine. The speaker's machine is different because there's more members, so their area is smaller and they're able to work it, I think, a little differently. But everybody's got their own machine, but that's only because they got money. Money makes the world go round.
The end, baby, I find my way. Write a song all about you, girl. Gonna get all over the world. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me all week, it is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. And Todd, we are talking, I want to move on to endorsements. Now, Todd, I want to talk about the anatomy of an endorsement. You actually made an endorsement this weekend of Tony Preckwinkle for Cook County Board President. And I was kind of like, I'm going to tell you, I heard the inkling of it, because I swear to God, I was on this show, and I was like, are you going to support Lloyd Life? And I think on it, but you know, I thought we were going, let me not say I thought. I thought that with everything that had happened or occurred between you and Toni Preckwinkle, that there was almost absolutely no possibility for you to endorse her unless she apologized publicly. I think that's what we said. She had to apologize publicly. We said right here on these airwaves. So I was like, when I heard Dorothy Tillman say that you were endorsing her, I was like, did I miss the on-air apology? What the heck? And you were supposed to be my man, so we were supposed to do it right here because I had to see it. And so I picked up, instead of going to the rumor mill, I picked up the phone and I called you. You returned my call, and you told me that you were endorsing former Cook County Board President, current Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle for mayor. And when you told me why, even though I didn't necessarily like it, it was like, it's the rules of the game, in my estimation. But I know people emotionally were like, what the heck? Oh my God! Now, in my estimation, there's 3 reasons that people endorse. You believe in the candidate. You believe in the candidate. Like, win, lose, or draw, you believe in those morals and you're with them.
I did that.
2, party loyalty, which we are not seeing very much of for the president of the Cook County Board right now, because I'm telling you, ain't nobody endorsed. You know what? I promise you, besides you, Alderman Burnett, and Jesse White, y'all better be, she need to make you the chief of staff at the county. Because I'm just saying, none of her proteges, none of the people are, like, the party loyalty is supposed to be there.
No, the majority of the black aldermen are actually supporting her. I don't know how supporting her.
Right. I remember I asked you, what does support mean? Right? Because, you know, people come to your event and eat for free and don't pay and be like, I came to support you. Not if you eating everything for free. And then there is transactional, which is I am endorsing you because I can talk to you. I can maybe have a sphere of influence. I may be able to acquire jobs, contracts, and opportunities, not directly as a quid pro quo, but I may have a better shot at doing better. I would tell you that I don't think any of those are wrong. None. It just depends on where you are politically. So with that, let me ask you a question. Are there more reasons that I miss them? You think I missed any?
No, I think that's kind of hit everything that I could think of off the top of my head, yeah.
So Toni has been picking up,
As a matter of fact, I can take a quick story.
Go ahead.
There's a friend of mine, and he was talking to, you know both these characters. He was talking to somebody when Toni was running against me with like 3 other people. And he said, you should vote for Toni. Todd can't win. And the guy said, no, I'm going to vote for Todd. He said, but he can't win. And he said, I don't care. He's my friend. So I'm voting for him. So that's one of your things.
That's belief.
Yes. My father always stuck with the Democratic Party. It's like I'm a Democratic committeeman. My job is to support whoever wins the primary. So if you won, he was with you, except for Hammerhand.
Right, no black person can be with
Right,
Hammerhand.
no black can be with him.
And then transactional. Transactional is, quite frankly, when you have people, places, or things to protect. I think one of the things that people don't recognize politically, sometimes, like, elected officials have a lot of, not all of them, but a lot of times elected officials have people in their community, people that they have that are employed, that they have families, they have livelihoods that are based in this employment and can change with government. And so they make decisions not based on their own personal, but on their, again, political transaction, etc.
That's right. And that's how the press was so good against me. They were like, we have to, like, say, beat the drum, do the dripping faucet, so the people who have transactional interests have to step back. They say, this fire is so hot, I can't be around.
And so I think what we see now is I think, Todd, so let me say this. I think that people that are endorsing, this is how I see the Tony Preckwinkle endorsement right now.
Wait a minute. I probably should tell you my thought, why I did that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess the reason that, I'm endorsing Tony, it is your third. It's the transactional thing. I don't think that that there are people in the black community who will have Lori's Lightfoot's ear. I think there'll be a few, but I don't think there'll be enough that is representative. I thought Rahm Emanuel had a few people, but it wasn't like those people touched very many people. It was a very small circle. And even though I liked some of those guys and I thought they were smart, I thought they were very regional. When I say that, I mean like their sphere was within maybe a half a mile around, you know, in a square. They didn't reach the whole south side or the west side. I think with Tony, it's a chance to talk to her. I mean, I talked to her already about this. And just like you were talking earlier, I told her, you know, her strategy has not been good. She's only been talking about herself. And basically it's been like a spitting fight. I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. When what she needs to talk about is what people care about. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for, what are you going to do when you win? How is the city going to change for you? And that's the advice I gave her. She was very, you know, she said, thanks for this. I'm really happy that you're on board. But, you know, I'm trying to help her win. I don't, you know, just want to say, hey, I think you should vote for her. No, you should vote for her, and this is what I expect out of her when she wins.
And what do you expect out of her if she wins?
Well, I expect her to actually do things in the South and the West. We know, I always tell people, man, because I got friends in the South. Look, you don't have to ever worry about nothing. Your streets are going to be done. Your sidewalks are going to be great. The rest of us who live out in the outer fringes have to worry about what's going to happen and who's spending the money.
When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. As talking to Todd Stroger, he endorsed. There were a lot of endorsements flying around this weekend. I want to talk about him. Todd said that I say there's 3 reasons. You believe in the candidate, there's party loyalty, and then there is the transaction. Todd was straight up and said the transaction. I think the challenge for most black folks is we don't understand that politics is really about the transaction. Now, how you do the transaction may be but ultimately it is about the collection of power and who is going to help us acquire the most power. Look, we'll talk about it more when we come back. It's Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. So
I gotta convince my family.
Your family should be like, if I was your family should be like, fuck that, because
that's exactly, they feel like
they should feel that way. I mean, I feel like, man, if I saw my dad go through what you went through at the expense of, and then knowing all of the family history, the legacy, all that, and they left you to be in the wilderness, and now she needs you now. That was my Tony OJ thing, right? Mm-hmm. It was, so now it's like you done spent the last 20 years ignoring us and being with your friends, and now you need black folks, so now you want to come back, and now we all supposed to be like on some solidarity shit, some solidarity, when we couldn't get no solidarity. So now you're going to talk to us, and now after 8 years of being in office, you finally realize that them white folks don't care about you, you ain't special. Lori is the new Tony. That's what just happened. And it's like the white folks picked them a new Negro, and now you want to come home to the black people. And the fact of the matter is, it's like, but
that person always has a different feel once this happens, because this ain't the first time this has happened. Remember Jim Tillman, the weatherman on Channel 5?
Mm-hmm.
Jim Tillman got fired, and Jesse Jackson and Push went down and started picketing and doing all kinds of stuff. And you know, they rehired, and from that point on, Tillman was at Push, helping them with media things, the camera. He became part of the community again, because he basically got smacked in the face, and now he's like, look, I understand. Everybody has to have somebody, and you're my somebody. This is Tony Preckwinkle's moment to know that she needs somebody, and it's obvious that Northside group she thought was going to be her bread and butter, decided that she's not their body.
So again, I just want to point out that I completely understand that philosophy, but I've watched her intentionally try and cause harm to people. Like, there's a difference between benign neglect and actively going out and trying to hurt and attack people, and trying to establish. And I'm going to say that, man, she personally went out and tried to attack people, particularly me and my family. So I understand Todd's, no shade. And I'm really still trying to call balls and strikes on this while I ain't calling no names and ain't making fun of people. And they said the OJ story was calling names. I didn't feel like the OJ story was calling names. I felt the OJ story was a metaphor. Yeah. Right? It wasn't like the other one. It was a metaphor for this experience, which is whenever people need us, then is when they come back. And so there is no lesson to the next person be like, as long as I don't get in trouble, I don't have to deal with the black people. When I get in trouble, then I deal with them Negroes.
But we're human. Sometimes there's what do we call it? A come to Jesus moment.
I'm with you.
You know, Saul of Tarsus didn't understand until he was struck by the light. Am I correct? Or you're the preacher's son.
Yeah, and I feel like I had that moment when I was lobbying. I talk about it all the time. I don't think, though, that this is I can't speak for her. I'm saying that what I feel like is right up until she looked at that map and saw no black peoples with you. None. And all of those people, all of those white advisors, all of them people that had you spending your time all up north that shat on black people the whole time, from the chief of staffs to the campaign managers to all the times you was crossing black people out. Remember, there was a phone call. Remember, we heard it. I called Dick Durbin. I called Jan Chakowski. I called Leslie. I called Pat against black people, against the black person, for an LGBT person who ain't even standing up for your ass now. So now we all supposed, man, not we all. I'm saying, but Jesse Jackson ain't come to your rescue. It's like sometimes everybody else got to see so that they know that you can't do it. Because we got a whole bunch of other spots. And if you get away with this, Negroes think, man, I just come back in there and save me.
Well, you know what the other reason that I'm supporting Tony instead of the other side is also I've seen who stacks up on the other side. That's got to be part of the decision. Who is on the other side? You know, Chewy may be now the crown prince of progressives, but man, I saw Chewy's election campaign for mayor, and to be honest, Mace, you and I were involved in that. There was people like us were there, but they were complaining that they were stuck outside the room when the decisions were made. They could see the door. Remember when Kay was in and the door, that was the black folks.
That was Tony though. So here's the thing though. Until Scott got the Nazi, the anti-Semitic or whatever, yeah, and until Keller, yeah, right? That's the same thing. And it's like, you can't say you ain't had no epiphany. If she would have won on election night, none of this would even be a topic. She would never picked up the phone to call your ass. Ever. Never.
Yeah, no.
And now the biggest thing is she don't want you saying nothing bad because she know that will put the freaking knife all the way in.
No, and I totally agree with Mace. But you take advantage of the situations you have. Sometimes, you also remember in The Godfather when they wanted to get that senator and they put the dead hooker in his bed? Mm-hmm. Just like
I think this.
But so they created a situation, but we didn't have to create it. The situation was created. Now we have to take advantage of it.
And I'm suggesting that
you remember, Lori Lightfoot comes from a high-powered law firm. She was a prosecutor. You know that's a separate group from us. That is the group that she'll be working with. You know what I call her? I just called her Dark Brown. she is not going to be searching for you and I and people like us to figure out what to do for the black. I just don't.
I'm saying, and I haven't seen the person there. Let me tell you what I think. I think chaos is a ladder, and I think that break everything. And now right now we see ain't nobody who talked about being powerful at all. You see the business mugs who talk about they can control the black community, they can't do it. You tell all the politicians, every damn committeeman lost who was with Tony Preckwinkle did not win their fucking precinct. They precinct, not they ward, their precinct. Could take this whole thing, break it, and now it's new power. Break it. New power generation, baby. You put 50 people in every ward together, every committeeman is bowing down. Because they ain't got it. Look at the number of signatures Tony Preckwinkle turned in, and Joe Barrios, they the chairman of the party. Kerry turned in almost the same by herself. We could take this whole thing, break it. Because guess what? Lori Lightfoot ain't going to let if she becomes the mayor, all the aldermen are going to migrate to her because they are aldermen before they committeemen.
That's right.
Break this shit. You are tuned to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. Todd, why are you looking at me? No, man, that is Cool G Rap. That's the symphony, boy. What's wrong with you? The Juice Crew. Boy, I'm about to put you up out this studio. The symphony, boy, that's like the ultimate cipher song.
I've never heard.
You never been in a cipher, Todd?
I don't even know what that is. Is that Cypress Hill?
Cipher. You know, like when they drop a beat and everybody just bust a freestyle. What? Why? They didn't have freestyle. Okay, let me start.
You guys want to do the Madison?
What the hell is the Madison? Is that the All right, y'all.
It's like a line dance.
It's a line dance. I want to do the what's that? The cha-cha slide is the only line dance I can do.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So we are talking about this mayor's race. We're talking about the endorsements. All right, so Lori Lightfoot is she cleaning up on the white endorsements. The Laborers, International, United, they signed up. Then yesterday she had a big group of labor people. Now on the flip side, you endorsed Tony this week as well as the Teamsters. That's also a pretty big deal.
That's interesting because I always had a great relationship with the Teamsters.
So did you hook that up? Is that part of it?
No, I didn't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting that would happen like that.
I think that the Teamsters was with the pop tax, remember? So all the pop tax people with it because the Teamsters is gonna get some of that money from the pop tax.
Well, all the unions would, in essence, I mean, how can you have raises if you don't have revenue?
Hey man, I'm gonna tell y'all, how can you have raises without raising my taxes? That's what I'm talking about, because the average person in the corporate...
It's impossible, actually.
Well, see. So, I want to... are these phone lines? Let's go to the phone lines. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's hear what the listeners have to say. Let's go to... Blah, 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 blah. Ron, you on the Talk of Chicago 1690. What's up, my man?
Hey, good morning, man. I don't think endorsements mean as much. I think if they did, and even money issues, I think we would have been looking at Bill Daley in this race. As far as endorsement, I think sometimes people have their own motives. Sometimes it's for the community, but then sometimes people just want their own personal access. But lastly, Todd, you said that you don't think that Lori would have the ear of black people. You said you don't think, but to me, for years, Tony Preckwinkle has it. I mean, that endorsement value, man, I'm telling you, you just really blew me away. And again, you can have your own personal. Those black people out in those south suburbs, Joe Barrios ripped those black folks off. So to me, any black person that would endorse Tony Preckwinkle has no respect for black folks. So I just want to say that again. How do you say you don't think she would, but then you endorse a person that has not? And if she did have to give black folks, she disregarded black people. I think, man, that's why at this point, I have little respect for or need for endorsement. I don't know what people's true motives are. Here with Todd. Todd, you just lost a lot of people with that, especially. I mean, she pretty much just slapped you in the face, man. I mean, you almost don't have any guts. You couldn't do that.
Okay, now Ron. Thanks, Ron. So go ahead, Todd.
So my response to Ron is, you know, when you're not in the game, you don't know the rules, and you don't respect the rules the same way. Now, I'm not disagreeing with half of what Ron said. I mean, Tony has not looked at the black community. She has been, like I say, there's a lot of candidates who come from Hyde Park who have been great, where they don't see, they're just like the majority. They kind of just use us instead of work with us. But, you know, in this race, I see the same thing going to happen. And I see this opportunity of her need is a chance for us to open that door that was previously closed. And I've seen this happen before. I've seen where people are like, wait a minute, all right, now I got to actually talk to you and respect you, because without you, I am through.
So I think that there's a couple things. First of all, thanks, Ron, for your call. Ron, I mean, Todd was pretty open. I told y'all there's 3 reasons why people make endorsements, right? They believe in the candidate, party loyalty, transactional. I think you got kind of 2 of those, Todd.
And there's only two candidates. I mean, it's not
right. It's like it's not like you have. So it's 2, and I think this is the problem that black folks I just want y'all to remember how everybody was tearing each other up over Rahm and Chewy last time. Right. How black folks, we spent 4 years fighting with each other over Rahm and Chewy. You know, COINTELPRO. But every time somebody says something, let me go pull this picture up. Hey, you endorse Rahm, and guess what? Rahm nor Chewy, neither one. Chewy ain't thought damn parts about none of y'all and did just like he would have did y'all if he would have been the mayor. He would have closed the door the same way. And so I'm saying black folks got to stop falling out with each other over some white people. Can we do that? Can we not be mad at each other over 2 white? I mean, well, these ain't white people, but we got 2 choices here. Did I say 2? Did I say we can't be falling out at each other over white people? All right, well, I will stop. Let's go to, how much time I got? Let's go to Anthony. Anthony, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Maze family. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
What's up, Anthony?
That's good. You know, it's funny, the guy just on Ryan, he said basically the same thing I said, because of what I was going to say, because Tony already has shown us that she, you know, don't really work with us well. To look up and see her at 95th, I didn't even know she knew what 95th of the damn ride was. To be honest with you.
You know, I get that. I get that, but let me ask you a question.
Okay.
During this election cycle, how many times do you think Lori Lightfoot crossed 22nd Street before? Wait. Let me finish for the group. Before she won, she got in the runoff.
I doubt if she'd ever come this far south.
Yeah. So
I doubt it truly.
And for me, I have no contact or access to Lori Lightfoot. So that's why I'm going with the person who I actually feel like I can pick up the phone and she's going to answer it.
Okay. Let me know how that turns out.
Hey, don't worry. Maze will have me back.
I'm going to have you back because I think this is a political lesson. First of all, thank you. Thank you for the call. I think this is a political lesson, y'all. And again, I'm saying, Todd, I'm going to say like this. When Todd told me that he was endorsing Tony Preckwinkle, I have respect for the fact that the man made a decision and he stood on the decision. He didn't sneak behind. And I think part of our problem is that we don't understand. You have to look at it. When somebody makes an endorsement, when the unions stand up and make an endorsement, that is transactional. They do not believe in the candidate. They believe that candidate, they cut from the unions and the taxes.
Right.
When the preacher stands up there and endorses, it is not belief in the candidate. It is usually either party loyalty or they got funding or it's transactional.
And I'm not endorsing anyone if I can't talk about why I'm endorsing. I'm
Okay.
not gonna say, yeah, that's the guy. Vote for the. No, if I can't say I think we should endorse.
Now, did she make any hard commitments to you? And well, let me not say hard commitments because we don't want to say quid pro quo. But when you talked about talking to her, were there any specifics? Because I feel like a lot of times when we talk about supporting and they say, yeah, I'm going to come back to the community. But again, what does that mean? What, Todd, was in it for the black people? We'll talk about it when we come back. Talk Chicago, 1690. We'll be back.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up.
Yeah, y'all. I think it's just, I think so many people were mad for you with her, right? Like I think, I mean, but mad don't pay the bills.
No, mad does not pay the bills. It doesn't. You can't. Being mad makes you upset and gets you stressed and your stomach hurts. But after that, you don't get much out of it. So there comes a point, it's like death, you know, there's what, 6 stages or something. You got to go through those stages. Then you got to get back together, and then you have to make a plan. How do I make myself relevant enough to help my family and support the causes that I think are important? And I don't think we've had enough voices to the mayor's office about things that are important to us. I take like the bridge that's going over, well, the 2 bridges that go over Lakeshore Drive going south, and no one ever worked on those bridges before. No one decided to create a new one. Man, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, I could drive in the neighborhood on the other side of the bridges, and there was nothing but vacant lots. I mean, there were some buildings, but there were a ton of vacant lots and stuff. I go through there now. There's all kind of people. I mean, you know, there's Irish, there's Arabic, name it. There's all kind of people living over there. And then those bridges popped up. So that's the city spending money on infrastructure to help the attractiveness of a neighborhood. Now, why can't that happen on the south side? My initial discussion with President Predwinkle was about using TIF funds in our areas, the west and the south side, talking to the developers, and, you know, some black developers about using the TIF funds, releasing that CHA money. Hopefully, she heard me. She said, look, I'll take that under advisement. I know the politician usually doesn't make the final decision. They bring it to their advisors and they talk to them about it. But, you know, I'm going to be in the area again about that kind of stuff, because I think, what kind of election is it when the only thing you can do is talk about your past and not talk about what you think is important in the future? And for us, it's, you know, putting the money where your mouth is. There's a lot of money out there, you know. There's a lot of money that goes through the mayor's office. There's a lot of positions out there where people make decisions. We got to be part of that process, and that's what it's all about. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make us relevant as a people, and I don't see it on the other side. You know, if she happens to win, then God bless, and hopefully I'm wrong, and there will be some access. But at this point, I don't see it. She's lined up with pretty much the same people who run the city before, and we didn't have access then. So, coming back. I'm gonna close the door and take over Maze's show and lock it.
Might get shot. You are tuned into Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Sitting in with me is Cook County and former Cook County Board President Ty Sturgeon. Ty, this has been a really interesting show. I'm gonna tell you, man. I tell y'all, these endorsements, 3 things: belief in the candidate, party loyalty, or transactional. You know, I think there's something to be said about loyalty. I think there's something to be said about party loyalty. But I think that we have to make sure that the ideals of the party match ours. Mm-hmm. And I think for so long, we've gotten our muscles, our political muscles have atrophied. And so we are not using our political muscle properly. And so I just feel like I'm concerned. Let me not say I'm concerned. I think that we have to think about this race from the standpoint of what are we going to get out of either candidate. And I still have not seen either candidate provide a list, an economic agenda. You know, like, I don't think that it all has to be
what I spoke to my candidate about.
Your candidate. So, like, so how did you endorse her before she showed you the list?
I told her what I wanted to talk about. You know, I was like, look, this is what I want you to talk about. This is what is important.
Is she doing it?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, I just talked to her.
So is she call you? So now are you in the court cabinet? You in the kitchen cabinet?
I don't know, but I do believe if I call her, she'll pick up.
I bet if anybody calls her now, she gonna pick up. Because she needs some friends. It's like friends. How many of us have them? Speaking of friends, can I ask a question? Where are her proteges? Why aren't they standing up? Like, do they know something that we don't know?
Well,
like,
who are we talking about?
I'm not gonna put them on super blast because they said I was blasting them, but I'm saying, like, think about when they talk about the Toni Preckwinkle tree, right? And they talk about all the people that she has been responsible for. When they gave her the keys to the kingdom of the Democratic Party, they was like, she is all powerful. She made this person, this person, this person, this person. And I'm talking about some real famous people. Do you think that they're not endorsing because they kind of want to be free?
That's interesting because you know, I have seen through my 20, 30 years, whatever the hell it's been, people who have been, as I'll put it, made by a certain person, and as soon as they got in office, they were like, I'm free! And they never looked back to that person. They never acknowledged that person as the person who helped them get what. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. Especially, I'm talking about black people. I don't know about the white ones, but the black ones, there's a lot of people who they forget from whence they came.
I think the challenge becomes in our community is that I feel like when you're a white person, they give you an area to go run around. And they say, you all good, this is your land, this is your territory. You be the man just as long as I'll call you, you take my call. Yeah. I feel like when it's the black person, it's like, no, you do what I tell you to do. Like, I feel like some of the reason that people haven't ran to her and to endorse her or to stand with her publicly, well, first of all, is because they need to establish their own independence, right? Like, this is the perfect opportunity. I mean, I think, though, it speaks volumes, like people like JB. Do you attach yourself to a losing candidate? Do you think that part of it is if the polls are saying you're not a winner, that maybe you just stay away because you don't want the tank? Like, do you jump on board with somebody that's losing?
I think you've hit it on the head that the bad press that she got, you know, right before the election, made some people step back from it.
And I think particularly, you think about this, and I think that if you are the top, she's got some pretty big heavyweight law enforcement people who are supposed to, and you think about, did you hear Lori Lightfoot yesterday when she said that very soon after the election, she has no doubt that there will be a massive number of federal indictments that will come down that will shake this city like it hasn't been done in decades, and we will need people to stick together.
Well, let me just tell you, from what I know of prosecutors, they tell each other what's going on, and if she said it, it gonna happen.
And so let me just say, and so think about the state's attorney or the attorney general being some way tied to someone who may be caught up in this tainted scandal, right? And so I think y'all, I want to protect our people that are in office and give them a chance. But I do think
when there's blood in the streets, buy property.
I'm gonna tell you, I think though that it speaks volumes that the chairman of the Democratic Party is where she is right now. I'm gonna tell y'all, we're gonna take y'all calls, we're gonna all talk some other stuff. But I'm wondering, Todd, if she loses this, will she still be the chairman of the Democratic Party of Cook County? Because my question would be like, if she's tainted by this scandal, will any other elected officials want to be running behind her, signing on as its party chair? Because, see, I think that the next thing that happens is Lori goes to war with the party.
You remember when Wallace came back and he was like pro-black and everybody loved him? She's gonna need she's burning. She needs to be a phoenix.
You think she gonna wear some red, black, and green? You know what? Tony Preckwinkle, you can join What's in It for the Black People. We got a spot for you. It's the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. We'll be back. Money, money, money. Hey, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast, share the broadcast, share the broadcast. I'm going to tell y'all.
You know, see, Mace, I've been through a lot.
I know.
So this kind of, I'm not with him type of, this stuff doesn't faze me anymore.
Right, you done took every abuse. Like, I'm like, damn. I mean, when the Tribune started the countdown,
oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, the man got sworn in, and the next morning they had a countdown on the end of time. I can imagine you are immune to everything.
Yeah, I mean, you got to live your life the best way you feel, because you know there's going to be some rocky points, and
get it how you live it.
You never know who's going to stick with you, and you know that power.
Yeah, because loyalty didn't always work out for you.
No, loyalty didn't always.
Loyalty didn't always work out for Todd.
No.
Some of y'all.
Some people like.
Some of y'all did this.
Some people like you, but they're not gonna stick their neck out for you. So
I like you, but not that much.
Yeah, right. I like you.
I
don't like you that much, but you know, in every election, everything's different. There's always a new election. Every election stands on itself. You can't live in the past, which is another thing I told President Preckwinkle. I was like, you know, forget about that past stuff. You got to talk about the future. That's what people want to know. They want to know what's going to happen tomorrow, and how are you going to try to make it happen for them. Sometimes I think people we've been tainted by this daily thing, where the dailies for 40 whatever years were all powerful, and nobody wanted to say anything, and it was more of they had a hammer and everybody was afraid of it. But everybody can't be that person. It's not
Tony thought she could.
Yeah, I mean, basically my advice is you got to change. Shoot.
So I'm gonna tell y'all what I think is happening right now. I think that the old guard is wanting the rest of us. What you see is they know they have access. They know they can talk, but these are the same people that's been talking, not you. What has been the outcome? See, it's like.
Well, I think you're wrong. Well, I'm wrong, but I think what's going on is the old guard is protecting their access. The old guard is aligning itself with Lori Lightfoot.
Not the black old guard.
Oh no, the black old guard.
I'm talking about the black old guard.
Oh, well,
and the black old guard is
black.
Yeah, but the.
And Lori, let me put it bluntly. Lori has not shown any proclivity to be black.
I think that in these cases, Tony is the black candidate, but I think that for a person,
and I know how weird that is.
No, right. I think, and I mean, so I completely understand how you could go for Tony Preckwinkle with two choices. I feel like it's two choices you could do your thing. I would never, like, there's a lot more. But here's how I feel. See, I feel like there's going to
now
be
you remember in the Godfather.
The Godfather was a movie, but go ahead.
Yes, but you know what the movie is? It is a
compilation of life lessons.
No, it's actually a compilation of Machiavelli.
Right, just like 48 Laws of Power. Go ahead.
Yes. So when Tom Hagen says to Sonny, this isn't personal, this is business. You have to look at it that way. This is business. Even though it hurts and you may go home and kick the cat. No, you wouldn't do that. You're too nice. But you don't.
First of all, I wouldn't have a cat.
Yeah, exactly. You probably would kick the cat.
So can I tell you, this is what I feel like? I feel like it's business too. And I don't think it's personal. My thing is, it's getting ready to be a new way of doing business.
Even when it's personal, in the end, it can't be personal.
Here's what I think. I think that in this case, what I see is, and I keep using this term, but I feel like I don't got nothing coming from either one of them. And I feel like most black people don't got anything coming from either one of them, right? I feel like Tony has demonstrated on time and time again, but I believe that if we use this time to organize, then we can make the demands on our own. And I just feel like
I don't disagree.
I think if this thing breaks, I think this is going to expose what I've been saying for a long time, that the party is weak. And it is a perfect opportunity for us to, I don't think black people are not going to be Democrats, but I think this is a perfect opportunity to infiltrate and take over the direction of our community. Again, I keep saying 50 people, 18 wards, 4 hours a week, 4 hours a month is bigger than any political organization in most wards right now. And if those 50 people commit to an hour a month, and they go knock on doors and they go do the stuff that an old organization used to do, you can take the committeeman spot without even thinking about it. True. And then at that point, now you're sitting at the spot making the judges, and they're the people that think like you. Because I'm telling you, over time, the white aldermen are not going to be party loyal. They are going to be, if they are aldermen, they are going to be Lori loyal because their wards are already there. They are going to go with their people. They aren't directing people. None of these people are going out selling and talking and saying, this is what you're doing. Everybody that's running right now, I think there are some organizations that have precinct captains, but if you look at the turnouts, right, why do you think no committeeman really wanted to endorse in the mayor's race in the primary? Because they were black, because they were scared that Willie Wilson, who ain't knocked on no doors, had more sway, and if they went against Willie Wilson's candidate, they might wind up being in a challenge themselves with their black constituents. Think about that. Think about the all-powerful Democratic Party is scared of Willie Wilson. And right now, he won their wards. So ain't nobody trying to have no beef with him. That's what I'm talking about. $50,000 votes and he got a gun to everybody's head. 50,000 votes. That's less than one ward, and he got the whole and people revolving around him.
That's a good point.
Think about that. But y'all out here putting up gay flyers. That's what y'all think about. That's what your political leader telling you. Wake up! Hey, I like this. You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. And also in the studio, you know I got to say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as Miss Sonia Escobar. She's the musical conductor of the Soul Plane, and her wonder twin, Sonia Tompkins, the super producer. Now let me tell you all what's up. In celebration of Women's History Month, we're proud to announce an exciting contest to recognize young black women leaders between the ages of 18 and 35 who are doing great things to empower their community. It's called Level Up, a celebration of women who got next. This is your opportunity to recognize the hard work and dedication of the next generation of black women leaders. Now, nominees must be between the ages of 18 and 35. To nominate a woman who's got next, go to WVON.com. Y'all, it is time to level up. And let's get into this. I'm going to take your calls, and then after I get through taking your calls, we are going to talk about something. I don't know if you all watch the political circus, craziest political show on earth. Do you watch that? It's on Showtime. Have you ever seen it?
I didn't think I knew it existed.
Well, I'm going to tell you. They've been following the Trump presidency since pre the election. And so it's really interesting. But Steve Bannon said and has been saying that 2019 will be the nastiest year in politics in the country since before the Civil War.
So basically, he's going to try to make that happen.
Yes. But I've heard it on numerous occasions. And then as I start thinking about these white supremacists that are shooting up people over in Europe, like that mass shooting where the guy went in 50 people and shot the mosque, and it was over immigration.
You know what his statement shows?
What?
It shows how white people don't know anything about black people history or anything else about history, because there's been some nasty elections where in the 20s where it was all about anti-immigration, anti-black. Man, white people been talking bad about us for a long time.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think they. But I'm saying, I think when you talk, I think there was some key
presidential election.
But I think that the whole civil rights component, the whole Civil War, was some different code word. And I think it's a call to arms. But we'll talk about that after I go to these calls. So let's go to these calls. Let's finish up our conversation. We were talking about the endorsements. What happened this week? Let's go to line 2, Eric. Eric, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. What's up, my man?
Tricks got lots of clicks, like red light cameras got lots of ticks, and I got lots of ticks. Don't forget your ticket to April the 2nd. Voting is displaying a weapon. Don't wait, please get started. Select the right target or you might get shut down. Chicago is losing black weight, getting its gut down. Don't be laughing or be late. We already run down. We need to get in the end zone like a touchdown. Make demands, be real bold. We can't yield the soul, and we can't settle for a field goal. We can't afford to be sort of lax. School yourselves with all sort of facts. Yo, there's no time for Wednesday morning quarterbacks. Don't hold your sons and daughters back. This election is historic and metaphoric. Digest my words like hydrochloric. But wait, let's not be acidic. You don't have to hate to be a critic. I'm not saying to start crying and pulling out the tissues. I'm saying to analyze and amplify the issues. Stay clear of discussion that sets us back and sounds silly. Let's build together and project accountability. When we do that, we respond and get more. This race extends beyond the 5th floor. Chicago, do you understand there are other pieces on the board? Don't forget about the automatic wards. April 2nd is Election Day, and that's no April Fool's joke. Lots of violence, little housing, and the schools broke, and many other things that taste nasty to your palate. Don't wait and pass up the chance to get a ballot. But even after that day, make sure you have your say. Politics got lots of clicks. It's time now for the plot to switch.
All right, Eric. All right. Have my millennials be snapping. Snap, snap. I shade my brother Eric. That was good stuff. What's your name, brother?
So my name is Eric. Eric Young.
And Eric, where can we get that poetic political content, brother? You got a Twitter. You got a Facebook. Go ahead, get the people some.
You know what? I don't even actually have it like that, but actually, I did send it to the WVON commentator, but I didn't get any response, so I figured I would come and try to put it out there since I like to, listen to you. And also, since you got me fired up, y'all were digging in the crates with Marley Marl, Big Daddy Kane.
See, Todd? Todd don't even know Eric. He don't even know Eric.
That's before you were even born, Maze.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. You did your thing. I appreciate you calling in. Let's go to Denise. Denise, you on Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was listening to Todd's endorsement, and it made me think about, given the fact that, we know a game is being played a certain way, and the black politicians play the game. And given that the black politicians attach themselves to a candidate based on transactions, why are the West Side and South Side communities in the condition that they're in? Because it seems like the black politicians have become comfortable playing a game that is rigged, and you're not bringing home the bacon.
Man!
People want a change, and I was at that forum last night, and the thing that Lori Lightfoot consistently talks about is changing the way we do things. Like, first of all, going to the people first with a community benefits agreement, or whether you're going to put a police academy in the community, or whether you want Lincoln Yards, or whether you want schools closed. When they closed schools and gave money, people on the north side didn't even want it. So, what is this transaction that you're attaching yourself to,
What?
Well, that's a good
Thanks,
question.
Denise.
Denise, and I totally agree with you. I have been saying for years, whenever I get on with Maze or any other show, the problem with the black elected officials is they don't have an ask. They don't have an ask before things happen. We are reactionary people. So my thing is, I'm talking to Tony's people now, and my next thing is, I'm going to talk to the campaign manager. I told Tony what I thought she should be talking about, and that's exactly what you're talking about, Denise. What am I going to do? So if I can't get that, then next time I'm on a Maze show, I would have to say things ain't going the way I want.
That would be the crow.
The way I want.
You have to eat some
crow.
crow.
I can't eat crow.
Oh, I can't.
I'm a vegan.
I'm a vegan. It's vegan, man. It's vegan. You don't even know how to say it.
No, I don't.
Like, nobody know how to say no vegan. Man, black people,
I'm allergic to birds.
So you don't eat no chicken? Black people ain't allergic to no birds.
I know somebody allergic to birds, but no, I eat chicken.
And we all eat chicken, man. All right, so look, y'all. I think that, I was having this conversation yesterday, and people, and with some elected officials, and people were saying, Maze, why are you against the Democratic Party? Shouldn't you change it from inside? And I was like, I think that you all need some external pressure. I think that the problem is, and I think that when I hear a black person tell me you are against the party, and I'm like, did you see our neighborhoods? I believe that there is a difference between the politicians and the elite the people that are still staying on the stage, and the people in the audience. And I feel like every time I talk to people, there is nobody on the stage that is talking like the people in the audience.
You know what the problem is, don't you?
No.
We have no cottage industry. When you have 87th Street, 79th Street, 75th Street, Madison, if those were shops that were controlled by black people who made money, those would be the people that would be talking to the politicians saying, look, I'm going to support you this way, this is what we think we need, but we don't have that.
All right, well, I'm going to say, and I think that what has happened is so many of our Democrats, they do a very good job of making sure that elected officials are comfortable, right? No matter what district you represent, no matter what neighborhood you come, once you become an elected official, for the most part, unless you're Danny Solis and you know, at the spa.
He was eternally comfortable. That was his comfort.
Yeah, right? Right. I think that what happens is you get a level of comfort. You go to Springfield, and even if you represent the poorest of the poorest district, all of the lobbyists take you out of your neighborhood. They take you to the finest, fanciest dinners.
You're the Duke of Earl when you're down there. Yeah.
And then when you come home, you really come home and then go out, you know, and they take you everywhere else. And so I don't feel like people feel the pain. I truly feel like sometimes when I go to these events, like it is literally like let them eat cake. Like when you go, I was watching all of these people yesterday. I was telling the black people, look at all the black people in this room and look at the white people. The black people out here trying to get a donation or something from these white folks. All these white people here are making money. They all the black people are all trying to be something. The white folks here are already something, and they trying to make sure they pick the right Negroes. Look, y'all, we gotta do something about this. Look, we'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather. Traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show.
No news.
Coming up.
So yesterday when I was at the fundraiser, I was like, so I just, so I had gotten cornered by some elected officials about this.
Wait, there was a fundraiser?
Yeah.
For Tony?
No, hell no. Y'all wouldn't have been at that. And so while I was at this fundraiser.
But who was it for?
Larry Rogers.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So I was sitting, I don't like to, so I just went to sit and I was chilling at a table, whatever. And so while I was there, a few elected officials, so it's so crazy how people react. So, like judges and people who, they oh my God, Maze, what happened to you? You weren't on the show today. Like, I listen every morning. You are giving us critical analysis, blah, 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 blah. So there are people, and then there are the people who are tied so hard to the system that they just you are bad. You are just bad. And I'm like, what are you mad at me for asking what's in it for the black people? Well, you tear us down. I say, when do you all speak on our issues? I was like, somebody yesterday tried to convince me that not the only thing, but really the only thing that they could focus on for black people was getting people out of jail. And I was just like, can I just tell you? And it was like, they kept saying, well, we got Pookie and Pookie them, and it's like, that sounds like some cute shit you say to white folks. But there's so many more issues that impact black people, and it's like, here you are talking to the people that are supposed to be representing us, and they're catering to the least of us. Not to say that we don't care about, but it's like we got to do stuff simultaneously. So white people got people in jail. Their whole economic engine is not about, and I was sitting there I was like, but what about black business? Yeah, but we got to talk to Pookie and them first. Well, how about if we had black business, then Pookie might get a shot at a job. But it's it's the same. I just feel like if this thing breaks, it is going to create warlords and chieftains. And you're going to create your own fiefdom and your own city-state. And if you can build a powerful enough base, then you will emerge in this space. And I'm suggesting that let them break it. Ain't nobody really looking out for black. I don't think there's an economic plan. And I'm gonna tell you what, this mayorship reminds me of Jane Byrne. There's gonna be so much terrible stuff that has to happen in this election, in this one term. This very much reminds me of a Jane Byrne moment. So now my question is, what do we do in this process? It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't care how many arguments. I don't care how many times somebody drop a new bomb and come out with a new expose. There's one or two choices. Tony might have to come back. Lori probably is going. Once you get in, you're going to try and figure out how do you win. In these election cycles, this is how. Hold on. So, it's moments like this when you will see who the new black power player in the mayor's office will be, right? Because see, right now, all the black people are with Tony. So there's going to be, my premise in life has always been, go where the black people are not. Because if you go where the black people, when you go where all the black people are, all the black people at Tony's campaign are trying to prove how you don't know shit. And they're the smartest ones, and they can't let you get. It's probably 2 black people over at Lori's campaign that are gonna be over all black issues, and you ain't gonna have no. And it's like, it's moments like this. This is how a Michael Scott gets created, right? The senior, Michael Scott Senior was with the dailies when it wasn't popular to be with the dailies, and then when he finally ascended, he became one of the chief head people. So somebody, probably Anthony Beckham right now, will probably be the point person for Lori. We'll see. Brooklyn keeps on shaking it. Boom. Day. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Strojan. Todd, we got these phone lines lit up. People want to keep talking about this. I'm telling you, this mayor's race, Black Chicago, we cannot let this thing break us apart. Todd, you know what tell them what you said. You know what? Because let me just say this. For everybody that has something, I don't necessarily agree with the person that Todd chose. I don't have a choice right now. But I'm going to tell you what. It always amazes me, everybody who watched you starve, cheer for your starve. You are a martyr. They always, when there was nobody, I just feel like y'all can't ask, you cannot ask a person to sit out. And it's like, I'm going to go to the person that I have at least the most access to so that I can have the most impact. As much impact as you can have. Nobody, I'm going to tell y'all like this, ain't nobody going into nobody's inner circle. If you ain't in the inner circle right now, you ain't getting ready to get in it in the next 2 weeks.
No.
So now you got to make the best of if you choose to engage at that level. You chose to engage at that level. Let's go to the phone lines. Art, you on the Talk Chicago 1690. Oh, may God bless you, Art. Let's go to Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, you on the Talk Chicago. Good morning, Miss Johnson.
First time, I always listen to you every morning, but this is my first time calling.
Thank you so much, Miss Johnson.
I just want to ask Todd Stroger, how could he endorse someone that, have had many opportunities to show that who this person was for and who this person wasn't for? He have seen that. Pat could have had many chances to really show who she really is. So I just don't understand, how he could even endorse her.
Well, Miss Johnson,
I don't know.
Miss Johnson, there's three choices. I say I'm for Preckwinkle, I say for Lightfoot, or I don't say anything at all. I'm sure, there's some people who would prefer I'd say nothing at all. But for me, I see who is on the Lightfoot side. I see who's on the Preckwinkle side. When I look at the Lightfoot side, and if you looked at the stage when she won, you'd realize that there wasn't Mays Jackson types, there weren't Todd Stroger types on that stage. This is your opportunity to get Toni Preckwinkle to look at the South and the West Side in a different light. I don't see that happening with Lori Lightfoot. So I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not omnipotent, but I think this is the way to go.
Did you say you're not impotent?
Omnipotent.
Oh, omnipotent. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not impotent either. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Stephanie. Stephanie, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Yes. Good morning, Nate.
Good morning, Stephanie.
I think she's gone.
Stephanie, you better get that Stephanie back. All right, let's go to Bill until we get Stephanie back. Bill, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Yeah, gentlemen. Hey, Todd, you gave them Politics 101, loyalty and the ability and access. Now, I understand you completely. You can't go wrong with your decision making, so I understand that, but that's from a politician's point of view. Let me give you from a voter's point of view.
Okay.
Voters cannot afford to be loyal to non-productive politicians. We only get promises. We don't get jobs. We don't get salaries. So here's the theory that'll hold you guys for life. The strategy: always choose the lesser of those who who want to be king. Why? Because if you choose the most powerful of the two who want to be king, you'll never get rid of them. AKA Preckwinkle, Burke, Madigan, Ron, Daley. Choose the lesser of the two who want to be king, and if they go left on you, you got a chance to get rid of them. And that's what the voters can do.
So
voters cannot be loyal. We loyal to production from a politician, not from the place. Unless your friend, maybe. But even a friend of mine, hey, if they go left on me and don't produce, they're out.
Bill,
I understand your point of view as a politician, but as a voter, I can't be loyal to that.
But Bill, did you not notice those last 8 years that with Rahm Emanuel? Do you think he was productive for black folks?
No, that's why I never voted for him.
Well, me either. But the only reason he's out, the only reason is because of that footage and that they were able to show it. Other than that, he probably would be in this election and he'd have no one running against him.
You're absolutely right. If it wasn't for that, he's the king. Who's going to push him out?
So that's why I say the mayor's office is so important, because once you're in, you're your own machine and you just run over everybody else.
Let me say this, guys. I think that what you should be happy about is the honesty. Right? See, here's what I think happens that I think drives me nuts in these things. Is that when there's no honesty, I told you there was 3 reasons that people make endorsements. Party loyalty, they believe in the candidate, or it's transactional. Ty was straight up and was like, it was transactional. Now, I think the problem we have is we want people to be martyrs. It's like, as long as a person is honest in their choice, you get to make that decision. Ty is making a decision on what he thinks is the best political option. And again, though, Todd, you in some ways are vested in a system that has accrued you benefit. Like, it may be not over the last 8 years as much, but man, if my father was John Stroger and you lived by a code, now Tony violated the code. She violated it. It's not inconceivable to see how something like that would happen. Look, y'all, let's talk about it. You know what? Dang, y'all gonna take the whole thing? We'll be back after traffic and weather.
Live from the WVON newsroom, here's our news now.
These clouds are going to give way to plenty of sunshine as temperatures climb near 50. Good morning. I'm in and here's what's happening.
Oh, y'all go. Todd, you got the cameras. Big Todd.
Yeah, you know, as I see this, my objective is to get Tony to speak on what she's going to do for the future. You know, if that doesn't happen, then I failed. But I don't have that ability with Lightfoot. I can't get Lightfoot to say I'm going to spend the CHA money and hire, you know, black people, make sure that the federal rules are going to be adhered to. I can't get her to say I'm going to use TIF funds in the west and south sides like never before. But I can talk to Tony and try to get her to say that. That's my goal. And
so you haven't gotten anything from her yet?
No, she didn't ask me to support her. I spoke to some of her people, and they were like, you know, this would be a good idea. I think you can make something happen in the campaign. And then I told her, she thanked me, I told her what I thought. And now I want to move to her campaign manager and tell him what I think she'd be talking about. Because I think it's important. I think she doesn't say anything. It's like every elected official. I mean, I want to hold her accountable as we should be holding everybody. I want them to say something, and I want them to do it. You know,
shouldn't you have gotten her commitment before you said I agree to support you?
Well, there is that. But, you know, I've been working with people who are close to me. And they said, you know, we think this is important. And these are people I trust, who think that they have the ear of Tony.
Have they had it since? Has it shown?
Oh, this is only, you know, I'm talking the short window. No, their feeling is, and they've known Tony forever, is I'm talking to Tony all the time now. This is the time where we can get her to do some things that are going to be important. So we need you to do this. So I trust those people.
Okay. So I think that again, y'all. What's the calling number? 312-374-8130. I think that no one should feel like they got the race in the bag right now. I feel like nobody should be taking a victory lap. I think that the more that we give Lori the feeling that she is invincible, though, then the more the white folks that's around her are like, whatever. But, again, somebody got to be everywhere. So y'all need to stop getting mad at people for picking a place. If, like I tell you, like everybody that I know that signed with Tony knows that even if she lose, she's still the county board president. And as the county board president, she still has a package of suite of services and offices. So maybe y'all, hopefully y'all will ask her when she's still the county board president to stop passing out waivers to white corporations so that they tell us that they can't find no black business and then still give them credit, right?
You know, and I might be able to say some things about the county board that could help her do things. Like, I mean, I could say some things about the health system that she probably feels
the
like
same
she
health
can't
system
say.
that she has 0% black participation in. That health system.
Well, to be honest with you,
don't tell me she don't control it because she appointed the people on the board.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
That system was something that was written up by SEIU and pushed by Larry Suffering. I couldn't get Maldonado, commissioner, now alderman, to vote for.
He going to jail. Don't worry. He's gonna be one of the ones indicted.
to vote for the
Allegedly.
one cent tax, and the only person who was going to vote for that tax was Suffering, but only if we created a board. Now I could have tried to be tougher on him, but to be honest with you, if we didn't make a deal within 2 days, the whole system just shut down by law. So he had me by the short hair, and you know, I tried to get some real board type of. I got a board member who turned out to be Jerry Butler on their board, but on second thought, I think I should have really made the president a member of their board. That would have made some more sense, where the president could fight more. The board has too much autonomy where they don't have to follow the county rules. Maybe that should be an ordinance that says that the board has to, hey man, that's pretty smart. The board has to follow the county rules in minority contracts and hiring. No, contracts, it's not in hiring.
Damn, Gloria Steinem.
What do you think, Mace?
What?
About an ordinance that says that the health system has to follow the minority regulations set in the rest of the county?
I mean, I think that that's fine, except for the fact that in the rest of the county, she's handed out more waivers for that. Under those same rules, she still has the ability to hand out waivers. And it has benefited her to hand out waivers to her contributors. So, no, I don't think that's a good idea because Tony Preckwinkle, you think about this. They hand out waivers, and then after they give out the waiver, the company still gets the credit for a minority business.
Right,
now,
because
they said they couldn't find anybody. So you mean to tell me you can't find nobody to buy no damn paper from? Fuck out of here. Like y'all, it's like those are the things I'm talking about. So you mean to tell me, literally, that on all of these contracts you have handed out waivers and you're the black person and you ain't even made no company, like you ain't even smart enough to tell somebody go do it?
Well, see, this is it. This is the time. This is when these issues should be brought to her and say, look, man, we're trying to help you, but you gotta help yourself. And that's because, and the only way you can help yourself is you're going to have to change some of the things that you do today. You know, the election's in 2 days or 2 weeks or whatever it is with Mays. I may come back and say, look, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I can't, in sincerity, stick with this. But I might not, hopefully.
So Tony Preckwinkle think about how good is it to have the endorsement of Tina Tchin, who's about to about to smash, get Kim Fox in trouble.
Who's that?
So here, Tony Preckwinkle got the endorsement of Cecily Richards, the former president of Planned Parenthood, Tina Chin, the Chicago Time's Up. Tina Chin, now isn't she the one that's getting Kim Fox in trouble? Yeah. Who talking about the Jussie Smollett stuff? Whose emails all got released? Preckwinkle also got the Illinois Federation of Teachers. Lori Lightfoot got unions. She got the transportation, amalgamated transportation. That's black train workers.
Oh my God, I like that.
241 and 308, City College Contingent Labor Organizing, Gas Workers, Iron Workers, District Local 1, Illinois Education Association, International Brotherhood of Electric Workers, Sprinkler Fitters, Teamsters, Local 75, and United Steelworkers. Bro, you better go get yours now. You better go lock your shit up right now. You better be like, I need 2 more years to get my pension. That's what you need to do. Shoot. She better make you the commissioner of highways.
But you know, Maze, in the end though, in the political sense, you know, of course I want to be whole, but it's like you're saying, it's a bigger picture. She got to change her ways. That's what I'm trying to get in about.
You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Look, y'all, I got to go ahead and take these calls. Y'all be getting mad at me for not taking the calls. So I'm going to go on to the phone lines. Let's go to Reverend Moore. Reverend Moore, you on the Talk Chicago 1690 AM.
Well, good morning to you and to our President,
good morning,
Todd Stroger. The bottom line is, no matter who wins, at the end of the day, if black folk don't make sure that we create an infrastructure so that we can come to one place and take care of our business. We basically need a Pentagon-type situation so that everybody who has a plan, everybody who wants to do something to help our community, it needs a support system with lawyers, CPA, project managers, architects, engineers, everybody under one roof. And of course, CPAs to keep up with the money, who get paid, and so on and so on. Then we can hold them accountable. Just like those aldermen, they always have been afraid of the mayor and will go along with him 98% of the time. Now, we want to see, are they going to go along with the new mayor who's going to be putting things on the table to benefit our community? And it's up to us to put together plans to put forward so that we can level the playing field.
Thank you, Reverend Moore. I think that's a very good idea. I've been talking about the rebuilding of the black political infrastructure.
That makes total sense. It really doesn't matter if they vote with the mayor 98% of the time, because they've never presented anything to the mayor to say this is what we want. So until we do that, you know, they're just there to rubber.
Man, well, look, let's keep going to the phone calls. Let's go to Stephanie. Stephanie, you want to talk Chicago?
Yes, hey, good morning again, Maze and Todd.
Good morning.
Thank you, Steph. I want to comment that Todd made a little while ago, a few callers ago. He said that the voters have to come to the candidates with an ask, okay? When he said that, he pretty much was saying that the voters do not ask for what they want, and I think that diminishes the intelligence of the voters. There are many intelligent voters in Chicago. And Todd, I feel that you did a disservice when you said that, because I've seen and I've heard many voters in their different spiels on the news or on the radio shows say that they want better things in their community. They want lower taxes. They want this, that, and the other. But again, as Reverend Moore just said, if the alder persons are not doing or working in the best interest of their voters, then again, I say, they need to be out. Tony Preckwinkle has proven what she thinks of the constituents that put her in the position that she's in. So I think it's time for a change. And for the record, I am not a Cook County resident. I don't live in Chicago, but I follow the politics. And I think it's time for a change. I don't have a vote Okay, but I think that it is time for a change. And again, Todd, I think you did a disservice to the voters when you made that
Well,
statement.
Stephanie, before we hang up, I'll tell you, when we talk about voters talking to politics, we're not talking about one person on the radio or one person out in the street. We're talking, if you are not organized, you will never get anything done. This is about working together as a group, just as the Reverend said, to make things happen. So when I'm talking, I'm not talking about me, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about us. We got to move as one and make that voice.
Thank you, Todd.
And that's true, Todd. That's true. I'd like to rebuttal just a little.
Nah, Stephanie, I gotta let other people get on. Sister Zakia, Young Talk Chicago, 1690. Sister Zakia. Hold on, Sister Zakia. Did I see you on the camera last night at Chicago State? I think I did.
You probably did. Because I was certainly there. And I just want to comment on that quickly.
Go ahead.
Tony Preckwinkle is really getting desperate because she's telling these people outside of the Fourth Ward that haven't been down here for 30 years like I have, how she brought economic development down here for the people. This branch on 35th right here, this new branch down here on 35th, no black people worked on it, and 4 years before the discussion, when the discussion was about the bridge, 4 years before it was built, I asked her that question right here in the church. Were black people going to get jobs? She minority, skated all around black people. She talked about working with the people in the community in the Fourth Ward. They were white people or they were rich people in Kenwood that she worked with. Now, my heart is broken, Ty. My heart is so broken that you would endorse this woman. When I think about the thousands of people that she fired when she took the seat, people you knew she fired. And I'm talking about the workers at Oak Forest Hospital that she closed down, the workers at Providence Hospital when she condensed it down to a doggone clinic. And you know all it is.
And you know I'm not happy about it. But this is, as Mays has been saying, this is political. This is I can't. Hold on. Did I interrupt you?
Sorry.
That's all right. So I can't think about my hurt feelings, because if you don't think my feelings hurt, you don't know me. But I know that there is a tomorrow, and as Mays has tried to point out to many of you, there's the tomorrow, and either she wins or she loses. But you know what happens if she loses? She's the county board president for 4 years. So that does, and that means, but that means that we still have to talk to her and get her to do what we need to on the county board. So if I can open the door to get her to listen to what I think is right, I'm gonna use that.
She don't respect you, Todd. She doesn't respect you. Don't you know that?
So look,
you know what? It's like crossing the bridge. If I don't try to cross the bridge, I can't get to the other side.
So let me just tell you this, Sister Zakia. Not Sister Zakia, because I was sensitive too. I was sensitive when I woke up on Saturday morning. And you know, Mama Tillman was on the radio talking, and I was like, I got to call Todd. I got to get on the phone. And I felt bad because it was like before 7. And I was like, what's going on? But I'm going to tell you, y'all, Todd has been in the wilderness for a long time. And everybody talk, like I tell you, this old being with the black people stuff, they will have your butt starve and will cheer you all the way to your starving grave. Now, yes, Sister Zakia, yes, dog.
We might not, if Tony Preckwinkle win the seat, we might have another special election because her behind might end up in prison.
Did you hear, Sister Zakia, did you hear that yesterday when Lori Lightfoot stood up? Lori Lightfoot, I promise y'all, when I heard her say that, because you know she's a former federal prosecutor, she said just like this. She said, we're going to need to come together because I have no doubt in my mind that there are going to be a series of federal indictments that will rock this city like not before ever, and we're going to need to come together. And I'm here to tell you, the former... I have talked to people, everybody is saying it's between 8 and 10 indictments. Yo, it's getting ready to go down, and I'm going to tell you this whole world is going to change, and that's why I'm telling y'all, when they break this, out of the ashes will come the new black political power. Because it's coming. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
More.
They take 10 aldermen, 10 elected officials out of here. Ain't nobody going to talk. Ain't nobody going to be organized. And that's when you be like, POW!
You're right. It's time to organize.
Come on, Todd. We'll let you in what's in it for the black. You gotta talk to the president. She might bless you in. You already but you just took an oath to 27. We already flipped you.
Well, you know what? I remember when Mr. Metcalf was mad at my dad because my dad was a precinct captain in the 3rd Ward and the 8th Ward.
Where did he get the most votes?
He was good at his job. I'm not sure.
Did he won? He won both his precincts.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah. But
give me 3 goddamn minutes to talk to me.
Who is this?
Dorothy.
but you know what? In the end, you got to try to get to everybody. You can't let anybody escape. But if you got the opportunity to talk and have things happen that's positive, you got to do it. I mean, hell, I'm not doing anything really exciting in my life. It's the most exciting thing I've done in 5 years.
Hey man, Todd said, let me get my jollies off.
It's trying to see if I can influence Tony in a positive way. You know what? That's my goal. And if people don't like it, you know, so what? It's like you said, Nate. Nobody's feeding me.
Right, I'm saying like I'll be like everybody got something to say when you don't want to eat. No, you ain't finna curse me out. She ain't taking my last 3 minutes. No. She not getting my last 3 minutes. No. That's not happening. She ain't finna curse me out for 3 minutes. Okay.
I mean, there's a ton of people who are like, Todd, I love you, but no.
and I'm saying,
and I understand that.
And here's the thing: it ain't like you better go do it. It's like my thing is, if I don't do what you want me to do, then I'm a sellout. Like, look, neither one of these candidates got no chop. It's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. He think he got a better chance of getting through to Tony. Hopefully it works, right? And hopefully if she was successful and we all said MF her, Todd is our catalyst to talk to her. If whoever is the other person on the other side, if Anthony is the one and Lori wins, then maybe Anthony will be our person to talk. But y'all can't just tell everybody we supposed to just stay in the wilderness. I'm gonna have you. We gonna play Todd's. I'm gonna have your oath to 27 chopped up. I'm gonna have that circulated on social media. I'm gonna be like, Todd is officially, he got flipped on air. He is now 27. That would be great in the annals of 27-8 history, especially with the young Democrats. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Are you talking on the phone on my air? Yes. You better get off the phone. Look, don't make me. Look.
I'm on WVON.
This is the WVON morning show, and Todd done lost his rabbit mind on the phone while we on air. But let me tell y'all.
That was about Tony Predwinkle.
What she say? She said she got something. She got an answer for what's in it for the black people.
That was her camp.
What did camp say? They give you some script. No, give us the script.
No, that's my contact to do some things.
Let me tell you, your contact is probably like, look, Todd, this is all value to you.
And I was telling my contact, you should be listening to WVON.
Your contact should know this is some value you getting because you taking a beat down for them. You are taking a whooping for Tony. All this adds value.
I'm taking so many whippings. It ain't nothing new.
She delivered some of them. Let's go to the phone line. Because Brother Raheem wants to bring... Brother Raheem, you got something good to say? Bring it to us, my brother.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have to commend you on your professionalism and your teaching ability. You really learned from your father. It is showing. If people would pay attention to what you're saying, it's vital. It's very important. The one thing that you said that convinced me is look around and see who was supporting her on that stage when she got up there. If you want a real change, then we're going to have to put Tony in there. At least we got a connection.
That's my thought.
Right. Having her doing what she wanted to do. A connection. You're the connection.
Thank you, Brother Raheem. We appreciate it. I think that...
my mother told me once, she said, you know what, some days your dad would come home and he'd just be so mad, he'd cry.
What's with this crying, man?
Well, because he would be trying to get something for black people, and he would be, stopped every which way but loose. So, this wears on you when you're trying to do something positive for people, and it's hard when it's not happening.
I think that here's the thing, and no matter what you do, what I've come to recognize is, according to the world, you're a sellout. Like, at some point, you're going to be a sellout. Even if you take a job in the administration and your job is to try to
help black
people.
people.
We got to stop killing people for their job. Y'all go to work for racists and people every single day. Y'all just don't get to talk to them. And it's like, so let me go to Tamiko. Line 3. I said, is that Tamiko Holt, the president of What's in It for the Black People?
Sure is, and I'm not very happy this morning, man, and don't cut me off, please.
Okay, well, hold on. You only got like 2 minutes because we got to close, so go ahead.
Okay, so let me be very clear. Either Lori or Preckwinkle is speaking to the various other policies that pretty much keep black people locked out, regular black folks locked out from getting opportunities beyond social service. So let's be clear about that. Can we be clear about that?
I'm clear with that.
God, tell me, which black folks ain't working at CHA? Because if they sound real out of touch with all these black people running around here contracting and hiring their own.
I'm sorry. No, I said that they have a lot of money that they haven't spent. And I'm trying to talk to Tony about spending that money and making sure that the rules that are in place are adhered to.
Okay, so what money? When the last time you checked the books? Because I stay all up in CHA business.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there was well, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there was $500 million that they were supposed to.
They spent that.
Oh, they did.
They spent that. They've been spending.
So let's be very clear about this. What I see now is happening, and it's going to happen in Lori's administration too. Because while you watch the people that's on the stage, I'm watching the endorsement and the people that's on the stage too. And all the people that's investing in them, it's the same ones that keep their foot and keep black people, regular black folks, straight and economically.
Thank you, Tamiko. I appreciate your call, my sister. That is the president of What's in It for the Black People. Let me tell y'all what.
If we don't get on somebody's side, then
we're on nobody's side.
We're on nobody's side. We're just out in the dark.
Can I suggest this to black people? I know this. What I'm telling you is I want everybody black on April 2nd to go vote. I'm looking for the numbers. I don't care who you vote for. I want to make sure that we demonstrate to whoever gets elected that the black vote itself matters. Look, y'all, they are about to do a remap. They are about to decide if there's going to be more black elected officials
or less.
Now, I know y'all how y'all feel about the black elected officials, but the resources. I'm telling y'all, we could take this whole thing. Think about this. Right now, Willie Wilson got 50,000 votes. That is less than one ward. And he has got a gun to the whole black power structure politically. One ward, he got the equivalent of one ward of votes. And right now, there are more people concerned about what Willie Wilson will do in their ward because they can't control it. I'm saying, y'all, we got an opportunity to take this whole thing. Take the whole thing. Let them break it. Everybody turn out to vote so you can see what numbers and see what power you got. Todd, I don't see anything wrong with you making a pick and an endorsement. It's a no-lose situation for you, and I'm saying you have paid your price to society. So I think y'all got to give them a pass. I think for the people doing the dumb passing out dumb flyers, exciting your opposition, it's not helping your boy Todd right now because it's gonna make your job just that much harder. Maybe you know what? I think I'm gonna have political school for real. No COINTELPRO agents allowed, but the rest of y'all, we're gonna talk about this stuff because it's like we got to get it right. Also, I want to point out the fact that we cannot let these people. Leslie Hairston is in trouble. No shade on Leslie, but this whole thing that they're trying to now use these people to smear Will Calloway, unacceptable, black folks. I think y'all need to double down and try to make sure that we support Will Calloway. Think about this. I told you want to send a message? You can send a message to the universe. The universe if Will Calloway wins. Because guess what? Where's the Obama library? You want your community benefit? Did I hear yesterday Tony Preckwinkle say, both of them say they want to do a community benefits agreement now? Yeah, I think I heard that yesterday. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Todd, you better get over there and get these, you better get us something, man.
Well, that is exactly what I'm speaking to, is that until people feel that they need you, they're not going to do anything for you. So that's why they're talking about that community benefits agreement.
All right. Well, look, y'all. Maze Jackson, Todd Stroger, we having a good old time discussing this. But you know what, y'all? This is political exercise that we need. We got to stretch our muscles because we've been to muscle atrophy. So let me say, for Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, for the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor, as well as Sonia Tompkins, the super producer, my man Todd Stroger, the former Cook County Board President. I am the host of the WVON morning show, Maze Jackson. And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
The talk of Chicago and the
Woo!
A great show is on.
1690 WV.
See, man, y'all got to learn. You see how Todd is detached from emotion? It's like after you whoop a mug so long and you climb all over him, I mean, what's left? You think y'all calling them names? Can you imagine waking up every day and seeing the paper got your name on the front page like you an enemy of the people when you trying to do good stuff? So let me help y'all understand, right? To each his own. We cannot be falling out over two candidates that both have demonstrated they don't give damn food. He making a bet, you making a bet. Let's not be emotional over this because ain't nobody, well, they ain't emotional over you. You got it?
Right.
Right? All right, people. Yes, Tiger, you got the
Tiger had a very good call on Eddie Reed's show.
Oh yeah, she had a great call on Eddie Reed's show. That was good. I think people just don't understand politics. It's like they are emotionally